I couldn't think of a worse way to start. I can already see people laughing in the fucking background. I give up. I'm going to start that all again. Welcome back to the Tottenham concept. God damn you, that was done perfectly as well. Yes, you beautiful people, thank you for stopping by. Listen, we've just started a new series. It's good. Oh, fuck it, I've ruined this now, and God damn you. I've started a new series. It's called the Chinwag. Now, I'm going to try and do this once a week if I can. That's the plan anyway. But look, you can do two things. Number one, big up your damn selves for joining us. I very much appreciate it. All your support that I get. Honestly, thank you. And number two, now, listen, they said it couldn't be done. I've spoken to YouTube. If you like and subscribe to my channel, it's completely free. Go ahead and do it. Listen, all I'll say to you is this much. If I become a billionaire from YouTube, a billionaire, I'll go and buy Tottenham. You want a winger and a striker? I'll buy every fucking winger and striker on the market. It'd be great. Think about it. But listen, we've got a banger for you today, and I've got some great guests. Now, listen, when my guests come on, give them some love because they've taken time out of their day to come and spend it with me and entertain you beautiful people. So give them some love. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce them. Now, my first guest, he is the master of analogies. Some of them are batshit crazy, but that's why we love him. Danny, how are you, my man? Are you taking the piss? He's taking the piss. Like I fucking need this right now. I can't hear you. Is this a joke?
Of course it's a joke. I'm being sarcastic with you.
I couldn't have fucking imagined a worse way to start a big show. I said it all perfectly as well, son of a bitch. Oh my God, I said it all perfectly. I had it planned out.
Oh, mate, seriously. Don't worry, mate. If you don't laugh, you cry.
I know, I'm going to cry after this fucking show, mate. I swear to God. Only me, right? Only me. Anyway, Dan, are you okay,
It's been a long day, mate. It's been a long day, but all cool.
It has been. It really has been. All right, on to our next guest. Now, I can't tell whether she wants to hug me or punch me in the face. It's the lovely Mia. Mia, how are you?
You was better when you was on mute, to be honest with you. Made more sense.
It's off. Don't like that. You couldn't have fucking... You couldn't. You just couldn't.
Yeah, and Mia, do you know something? I thought you were sharper than that. Yeah, Mia, you should have come on and done what I'd done and put yourself on mute as well.
No,
you're a bit slow today. You're a bit slow today,
no,
Mia.
because at the end of the day, he obviously would have known that was like us all doing it. Come on.
No, because when he...
What it's called, mate, it's called selective memory is what women always accuse us of. Selective memory. That's what it's called.
Yeah, it seems to be a superpower women have got, really, isn't it? Whenever I get in trouble with the missus, she always tells me exactly what I said. I can't remember what I said yesterday, let alone fucking 3 days ago.
But the thing is, though, Ben, football is interesting, so you take it in.
Yeah,
it's true. Oh,
guys, there's a woman here. I might be around the guys a lot, but you know what I mean.
Yeah, in hell.
What did she just say? I don't know. What did you just say?
Is someone talking to me? Because I don't talk to pricks. So.
Oh, it's already started off a bit feisty. I like that. Okay. Right, guys, we are going to move on to our first subject. Now, listen, I know that this is incredibly unlikely, and it's already been stated so. But what we've heard, you know, it's tangible. This is a real thing. So what I wanted to speak to you about very quickly was Romero to Arsenal. Now, guys, I don't mean to make this like a teacher sort of seminar, but by show of hands, who has a problem with Romero going to Arsenal? Interesting. Now, I thought Lubo was going to put his hand up there. I feel like he's maybe holding it down a bit. No, you know, okay, all right, okay.
No.
Okay. No, fair enough. Mia, can you explain why you've got a problem with him going to Arsenal?
I just don't think it's not that. It's because I don't think it's a very good look on the club, because I feel like that we've already had that done once with the captain, and I just don't think it's not a very good look for the club. It's not about him personally. I just don't think that it's a good look. And I wouldn't want that. I just wouldn't want that to happen personally. I just don't want to give them any of our. I just don't want to deal with them. Like, I don't know.
I get what you mean there, Mia, but it's like if it's on a freebie, I see what you're saying. But this is where I think a few people need to take a chip off their shoulder, basically. Whether you like the club or not or whatever, we don't want him. He don't want to be with us. And if they're going to pay the money for it, do it. There's bigger rivalries out there than Spurs and Arsenal. Let's take Lazio and Roma, for example. People literally lose their lives for those games, yeah? Let's take up otherwise Inter and AC. Yeah, that is a bigger rivalry than the Spurs and Arsenal all day. They sell players and buy players off each other all the time. So do other clubs and countries. Why should we lose out on money that could go towards a striker because we're too stubborn to do a deal with Arsenal, who are willing to give us the money that can go for that striker?
But this is all hypothetical, of course, because obviously they've not put an offer in. He's not actually agreed no terms.
Of course it is.
But the fact is that I just personally, that's just my opinion. Like, I just wouldn't like that to happen. That's just the way I see it. Because I'm not really a fan of trying to do business with them. Like, we haven't done business with them for a long, long time, and that's just not something that I don't particularly want them to do. And like I say, I just don't think it's good for us to do that.
I get what you're saying there, but I think, Mia, you just got to look. It's 2026. It's not 1990 anymore.
Yeah, Julia's right. I don't want their dirty cash. That's right. I feel like maybe I'm on my own on that, but that's that's just my opinion. I just don't think it's the right thing to do to sell him. Anyways, the thing is, are they going to offer more? Possibly, maybe. We don't know if they would have offered more. So that's the only thing in it.
See, that would be my sticking point. So for me, you would think Premier League tax straight away. But I'll save my opinion. Lubo, what do you make of this? Why are you happy for Romero to go to Arsenal?
I think from what I was told, he wasn't a good influence around the dressing room. No doubting his ability. On his day, he's one of the best centre-backs in the world. Am I bothered about him going to Arsenal? Not like I was with Campbell. Campbell came through the academy. He joined Spurs, I think, when he was 10 or 12, and he left 17 years later. We were offered 15 million for him by Man United a year before he went to Arsenal. He could have gone, if he didn't think Spurs were ambitious, he could have gone to United. That was in Ferguson's heyday. That was literally, I think, just after they'd won the treble. So for me, that's something that was unforgivable. You just don't do that. He crossed the line. Romero's not a Tottenham boy. Romero's Argentinian. What does he care? So for me, it's business. If you can get an extra 20, 30 million out of Arsenal, absolutely. And put that towards a player.
I don't think Arsenal would be able to handle them. I mean, I had this on the chat on Catchy's show yesterday, Arsenal supporters mainly. And I said to her, you lot, they wouldn't be, Arteta would not be able to handle Romero. He wouldn't be able to do it. He likes robots in his team. He likes disciplined players as such, or a majority of them. They wouldn't be able to handle Romero, I don't think. I mean, we can't. They wouldn't be able to, I don't think, either.
I think De Zerbi would, Dan. I think De Zerbi could handle him. And in fact, to be honest with you, I think he was probably promised A, B, C, and D that never came off, which is one of the reasons why he signed the contract. And when he saw how poor, ultimately, the transfer window finished up last season, I think it was just frustration coming out, to be honest.
No, again, and I agree with you, so I concur, to be honest, Lubo. Rain, you got any input on this subject?
I think he'll fit right in at Arsenal. I think his character, his personality, he'll slot right in. Which actually might be a good reason to join Mia, to be honest, because it is providing them with someone who's a relatively good fit. But the position that I'm in is we're clearly struggling to get rid of players, and that trumps. So getting players off our books trumps our rivalry with Arsenal. We need to climb our way out of 17th twice, and that needs to be done by getting goals into our into our team. And we're not getting goals in. I'm quite clear. I've been going on about it for about 5 or 6 weeks now, and it's becoming more and more true. we're not getting goals into our team until we get players out of our squad, so they can buy some players. So
No, fair play. No, fair play. I mean, do you guys agree though? He'd sit on the bench, right? He wouldn't be a starter for Arsenal. Am I wrong in saying that?
No.
Well, Saliba's out for months with this back,
That's 6
having had this
months.
back operation.
Oh, yeah, he is, isn't he? Yeah, I forgot about that.
Question is
When he comes back,
well,
though, guys, six, maybe 7 months. As soon as he comes back, Romero will be sitting on the bench. Could you imagine the chaos he will cause if he sits on the bench?
Yeah, but look at it this way. There's one thing I can definitely vouch for firsthand, that you will never ever fix 100%. Once you've done your back, you've done it. Game over.
Yeah.
Okay, you can fix it to maybe 95%, but then next time you injure it, you'll only fix it to 95% again. Now your back's 10% done. Once your back's done, you will never ever fix that to 100% again. Never.
In today's modern medicine, because they used to say that really and truly about ACLs, and it's not really like that anymore.
But like I said, your back's different in that aspect. Once it's done, it's done. I'm not saying he's going to be injured to the extent that he is now, but it'll never be 100% fit on his back again. Once it's done.
So what are you saying to me, Danny? Are you saying once is what? Are you trying to say to me he'll never be the same player?
No, I'm not saying that. But it'll definitely be more vulnerable on his back. Because all I'm saying is you never fix your back 100%. You might fix it 90, 95%. But then if you do it again, you'll only fix it 90, 95% again. Your back is now 10, 20% weaker, whatever way you want to put it. You'll never fix that properly. That's probably the worst thing you can injure.
I don't think you're getting 100% seasons out of him.
No.
Which I think is what Dan's saying. It's he's gonna have to be constantly managed.
Yeah.
And I don't know, Dan. It might be like 5 games on, like 2 games off, kind of thing. That kind of thing.
They're going to have to definitely. Once you've done your back, there's no. Once you've done your back, there's no going back. Like, you can obviously heal up to a point, but it's like you break your arm or you break your leg. That's better than actually having an ACL, isn't it? Because if you get a clean break, heals up together, but it also heals over the top and the bottom of the bone, doesn't it? It actually makes your bone stronger if you break it and you do it properly. Your bone is actually stronger after you've broken it once it's healed up. Whereas once you've done your back or your ACL or whatever, you can't get that back to the level that it was before then. And your back, like I said, he will have to keep a serious. They will have to keep a serious checkup on him. I mean, if it's something that's keeping him out for 6 months as well, that's not a minor little injury he's had on his back. I mean, when I've done my back in, that was it. I mean, now I can vouch for that. I've got bulging back disease on my bloody spine and that, where I've done my back in that bad. And like the doctors and that have said it to me, osteopath and everything else, you'll never heal it 100%. So Rain's right in what he's saying. They will have to keep an eye on him big time.
No,
so it can't be a little
thing
if it's 6 months out.
I understand that, but you got to remember, these are multi-millionaires. They've got the best of the best doctors working on them, So for all intensive purposes, for what it might be for you, it may not be for them. But look, the conclusion. I mean, the conclusion we've come to so far. So look, Mia, you're saying for the sake of rivalry, don't sell him to Arsenal. That's what you're saying, yeah?
And actually, part of me as well feels like that Arteta doesn't really like those kind of players, because anyone's a bit flashy, a bit like personality-wise, I don't think he could handle Romero either, to be fair to him.
No, and he has got a history of sort of getting rid of troublemakers. He did it with Aubameyang. Yeah, that's right. No, but for all intents and purposes, for this conversation, I personally would say, and I think the rest of us agree, I think if you can get more money from Arsenal, I'd probably sell him to Arsenal, because realistically, I can't see it working out for him there, and he's only going to cause problems like he has at Spurs. Some more power to him. I'd be quite happy for him to go. But look, we'll move on to the next one. Now, this one, for me, is batshit crazy. So recently, and very recently, Jed Spence to Inter, right, and Udogie to Roma. Now, the question I want to ask is, do we think there's any truth to that? And can we afford to let both of those players go? Now, I will say this ever so quickly. Inter think they can get Jed Spence for 30 million euros, I think it was. Now, I'm not being funny. Jed Spence is 25. He's English. He's homegrown. He can play both left, both right. There is no way Spurs value him at 30 million. I'm sorry. He's too valuable to Spurs. He may not be the best player in the world, but there is no way he is going to Inter Milan. I don't believe it. So again, the question is to you guys: do you think there's any truth to it, and can we afford to let them both go? Rain, I'll come to you first, mate.
So all of the noise coming out, in the ITK world, which I'm not sure how much weight we put behind them, is that Spence wants to go, and that De Zerbi has taken a look at Spence and decided, for pretty obvious reasons, I would expect, he wants attacking fullbacks, that Spence is not the player for him. Now, I make you right, Benji. This is Spence in particular is a problem that we don't need to solve this window. We've got two right backs. Spence is one of them. Is he the right back? Is he the type of right back that I want at Tottenham Hotspur Football Club? No, not really. I would prefer attacking fullbacks who can get down the line, who can put a cross in. He definitely doesn't do it on the left, and I've seen enough evidence that he doesn't actually do it on the right either. Yeah. He's definitely an athlete. So I'm torn. I'm torn between I don't really care about keeping Spence as a player, because I don't think he's got the qualities, the attributes that I want at the club. But we've only got two right backs, and we've got a whole load of other work in the transfer window to do. So, and plus, I'll make you right, 25 million. I mean, that is non-Premier League money. We do have to accept that there's one price for a player coming into the Premier League, and there's another price for players leaving or going somewhere else.
Sure.
So I'm torn. Mate. If we sell it, let's put it this way: if we sell him, we've got to replace him. And right now, I'm pretty sure that every single Spurs fan would much prefer our limited resources at Hotspur Way, signing players, to be looking at a striker, a left wing, maybe a right wing, maybe a 10. So I'm torn.
Well, fair enough. Listen, you've made some good points. Yeah, I think what you said for the most part is valid, mate. But listen, we'll come to Lubo next. Now, Lubo, I know you've got a lot to say on this. Also, I'd like to include Udogie here as well, because it is both of them supposedly linked with moves away. Lubo, what do you make of it all?
Sorry, wait, let me just, on Udogie, very quickly, because that's the first I've heard of it. Yeah, I would have no problem with Udogie leaving the club. We've got what, 4 or 5 left backs. That's fine. That's
Do we?
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, who have we've got Robinson and Udogie. First team wise,
Udogie, Sousa still at the club.
Come on.
Ben Davies, yeah, but they're bodies, right? They're bodies. They're bodies at least. Ben Davies, and do you know what? Jed Spence can play there as well.
Yeah, there is that. No, fair enough. Go on, Lubo, continue, my man.
Udogie,
you would get rid.
Okay.
Fair enough.
All right. Before I come on to Spence, Ray, the resources that are there for the recruitment team to spend are not limited at the moment. There's plenty of money there to spend. Spence is the best left back there for me. Udogie's injury prone. Sousa's too young. Robertson's on his way out. And Davis is, I think he's probably there because they're helping him get his coaching badges together. So for me, you keep Spence. And the other reason why you keep Spence is we haven't got a right winger. You could push Porro forward and play him in a more advanced role like Spain did and play Spence behind him. So to me, it's just nonsense. And 25 million? I mean, come on. That's just, the performance that he turned in that England semi-final was on a different level to anything I think any of us have seen at Spurs. So if RDZ can see that and then unlock it for Spurs, I think we've got a fabulous player there. I honestly do. I think it's
Sorry,
madness to sell him.
Just want to say you misunderstood me. It's not about financial resources. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't.
Oh, you're talking about players playing.
No. As a finance guy, I don't give a monkeys about finance. I don't think it matters a jot. What matters is that we've only got so many people doing the job of getting the transfers done, and if we sell Spence and your doggy, then some of these people who need to be doing the job that they need to be doing, right, is getting attackers. These people are now going to have to go and get it right back. That's what I was talking about.
Fair enough. That's fair enough.
Go on, Lubo. Continue, buddy.
So for me, you keep Spence for all of those reasons, and the fee's a joke. The fee's a joke. I mean, that's for me, they've got to get strikers. I genuinely think, I'm sure you'll come onto this, Benji, in the show, but I genuinely think there's a plan in place. Solomon's gone, Moore and Yang are going out on loan. That just leaves at the moment 3 fit strikers. 3 foot.
We'll get to that. Believe me.
3 foot forward, should I say? So
yeah,
for me, I think there's stuff going on that we'll find out about shortly. But if it doesn't happen, then I push Porro further up and keep Spence and playing right back.
So in regards to Udogie, you'd be quite happy to see him leave.
I think he's a very good player. But he's always injured, and that's no good. And if you can't get a player on the pitch, however good he is, it's not worth it. You can't build partnerships if someone's constantly injured. You can't get momentum. You can't have a back four that play together constantly. If one's always injured and different people are coming in, it doesn't help. So, and if you look at De Zerbi last season, when he came in, we were out the cups and we had one game a week, and he tried to keep to the same team. There were players, the odd players come in and out, but most of the players there, he played Graham Bergvall in the first game, didn't see him for the next 6, stayed with experience, which was the right thing to do, and kept for the last 6 games, kept the team fairly, it was fairly consistent. You might have had the odd change, but you didn't get 3 or 4 changes. He wasn't rotating like Frank and Tudor did. So for me, you've got to have someone there that's going to come in and that's going to play regularly. And I don't think Udogie's just not got the body at Premier League level to play regularly. He's injured again, isn't he? So,
yes, you know what? You told me that on the phone earlier.
Yeah, much as I love the player, he came in against Villa. He was tremendous in May. You look at him and Bilbao. He was fabulous in Bilbao. He's got it. He's got the ability. We saw it when he in the year that he was on loan before he came to Spurs. But he's always injured. And however good a player is, if he's not available, it's like John Stones. He's played 36 games in 3 years. So,
I didn't know it was that low. Are you serious? Well, no, you're absolutely right, and I agree with you completely. I just think it's a shame for me because I know, listen, Udogie's not everyone's favourite player. I get it. But I just feel like there's something there with him. Like, I've seen him have great games, and it's just such a shame that he's incapable of keeping himself fit. And I really don't know what the problem could be. I know it's lots of different things that keep affecting him. It's just, for me, it's a sad one. But look, Mia, what do you make of both of them guys? Do you think that there is some truth into this? Do you think can we afford to get rid of both of these players at the same time?
I think there is some truth in it because I do think that with Spence, I think he wants to go. I think that he thinks he wants to get first team minutes. I think that he doesn't want to be sitting there on the bench. There's a few problems though that we haven't touched on. Is that if we get rid of Spence, he's homegrown, right? So that also creates another problem because of the homegrown issue. So if we get rid of him and Udogie, that's absolutely fine if they both want to leave because one of them is injury prone. And despite what people think, I think that Spence overall for England was good for 2 games, really good. We haven't seen enough of that at Spurs, and he can play both sides. So while he's valuable, the problem we've got is that he keeps getting dropped by pretty much every manager that comes along. So there must I think there must be some sort of issue with this boy. And of course, if he wants to go, like I say, he should go, because that's exactly what De Zerbi has said. If you don't want to be here, you've got to go. But that creates a huge problem with this homegrown issue. So whilst it's okay for us to say that, we've also got to consider the homegrown quota. And it is a bit of a worry that if he does want to walk out that door and he's insisting on doing so, that who we're going to get to replace him really needs to be homegrown. And the only one I can think of that does play both sides and probably equal to him in most ways is Neco Williams. And I don't think Mr. Marinakis would want to be selling to us. So there's a massive issue. So whilst this is something that I'm not against in a way, because I think, like I say, he's injury prone, Udogie, and as much as I thought he might come good, he's just too injury prone. And then, like I say, with Spence, there's a varied few issues with him, and I'll be happy to see him walk out the door, but the issue is the homegrown thing. So it's a bit of it's a conundrum for sure.
Can I just push back on one thing that you said? There seems to be this rumor going around that Spence wants to leave. Now, I've got it on good information that Spence's family are Spurs fans, and Spence is quite happy. You boys have heard this as well, right?
Yeah, I have.
I mean,
this is the problem with ITKs. Look at Maddison, Mia. Look at Maddison. All these ITKs, reoccurring injury, it's all bollocks. Like this is what worries me about ITKs, and I'm convinced they should be banned. But I just feel like there's so much misinformation out there. So as far as I'm concerned, Spence loves being at Spurs. So I don't know.
Let me just hold up a sec, right? So let's just say, if I just said if he does not want to be here, he should leave, right? That's what I said. I didn't say he definitely does want to leave. The fact he's been offered to other teams, but Manchester United, and obviously Fabrizio Romano has said that the talks are going on, leads me to believe there's some truth possibly in the fact he wants to leave. Although Romano's wrong, he has been wrong. I just think that if there's a lot of this going around, this might show that he wants to leave. And if he wants to leave, so be it. Because De Zerbi has already come out and said he doesn't want anybody here who doesn't want to be here. For sure.
No, fair enough. No, I get it. But look, Danny, I'll come to you now. I know this is your specialised subject, the old Italian league. Talk to me about the finances over there. I mean, can they even afford Jed Spence? Well, and can Roma afford Udogie?
The first thing it was that was actually the serious one with Spence, it was actually AC Milan. And now it's turned over to Inter. I mean, look, this is where the problem is with the Premier League. Whoever we buy, whether it's in or out of the Premier League, you're gonna have to pay that much more money because everyone knows you've got the money in your back pocket. Whereas everywhere we sell out of the Premier League, unless it's to Madrid or PSG, basically, or maybe Bayern Munich, because Barcelona won't even pay the money anymore. No one's got the money to spend it. Roma, yeah, I reckon they could get Udogie because I don't think Udogie's worth any more than 15 mil, if I'm going to be honest, for his injuries and that. Spence, the only thing I've got is he's homegrown. That is the only thing. I think he's good enough defending. He is good cover for the left and the right back. But if we're going to be totally honest, for me, he's another player that has just all of a sudden been totally overrated because he had 2 respectable games and 1 respectable 20 minutes or whatever it was. All of a sudden, he's a quality player. We have a bad habit of this at Spurs that all of a sudden a player looks good for a couple of games. We all of a sudden slam all our hope on him. We keep doing it with time.
It's
and
not
time
just
again
Spurs,
over the
though,
years.
Danny.
No, we are the worst ones. Yes, we are the worst ones at it. We are the worst ones for it.
All right, well, look, how about this? How about this, Dan? Right, so Inter have been quoted as saying they are convinced they can get Spence for 30 million. What do you make of that? That's a joke, right?
Yeah, no, they can do. Think of it this way. Like I said, wherever we sell abroad, we're going to lose money. Everyone knows we're that desperate to get rid of players. They ain't going to offer us their full worth. Not at all. No chance. Same as anyone we want to buy, they know we're that desperate that we're going to be paying an extra 10, 15%. And plus, if we're buying out of the Premier League, everybody knows we've got money as well. So we're going to be paying more. Inter, it does make sense for him to go there because they had to sell Dumfries. They didn't want to, but he went to Real Madrid. Yeah, they only made about 12 million on him. I think they sold him for about 15 million euros.
17.
17. What is he, 30 years old now, Dumfries, though, isn't he?
About that 29, 30. If I
Probably
remember right.
why he was a bit
I
cheap.
can't remember the exact age. No, it was his last year of contract. And with that, again, if Spence is that good, then why is it every manager that has came in has blown him out? Why is it that when he did actually look our most consistent and one of the better players on the pitch for 7 games straight, as soon as Udogie was fit, baked potato, mate, see you later, straight off. The other thing I ain't too keen on is his attitude either. I don't think he's got a bit too much of a... let's just say he's got a bit too much of an attitude on him. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder. Like Romero sort of thing. Someone you don't necessarily need in there for that. But then I can say the same with Van der Ven. I mean, the way Van der Ven and Spence both were that rude to Frank, I don't think many of us would have stood there and put up with that. You know, that was rude. But Spence, I don't think we'd miss him. I think he's more one that's backup. But the only thing that bothers me with him is he's homegrown. That is the only thing why I'd be bothered about him going.
See, I find that really strange. I was just about to say, Luba, and I'll bring you back in, no problems, because I want someone to push back on that. The only thing I find strange is, for me personally, look, Spence is not the world's greatest player, and he's certainly not the worst either. I think the value he gives to Spurs in terms of age, nationality, capability on the pitch, in terms of both left and right, I just feel like he's too valuable to sell. You know, you don't have to be a superstar to be valuable to a club. But anyway, that being said, sorry, Lubo, go ahead, mate.
Listen, I've heard there have been plenty of clubs coming in for him. The difference, Dan, with Spence and say a Romero or a Vicario is that Spence hasn't asked to leave. The other two have.
Yep.
So, you know, yes, when you bought before you sell, you run the risk, obviously, of clubs coming in like vultures and saying, well, he's surplus to requirements. He wants to go. We'll get him for a knockdown for a bargain price. But Spence hasn't asked to go. Clubs are coming in for him. So, you know, there was a lot of talk. There was a lot of talk during the World Cup. There was nothing going on. You know, Spence hasn't asked to leave, and I was told he's happy at Spurs. So
if De Zerbi sells him then, and he hasn't asked to leave, he obviously doesn't rate him that highly then.
That's got to be the answer, hasn't it?
No manager has. No manager that we've had, and I know we've had some dodgy ones as well.
Does anyone want to push back on that, though? Because it's really the case.
It's absolutely
you can't
right.
push back on that. You can't push back on it because no manager has rated him.
It's absolutely right. And if you think back, you know, to the last 3 years, 2 years under Ange and obviously last season, Spence was absolutely one of those players where, with us in the fan base, and I'm just as guilty of it, he was one of those players, the less he played, the more we hyped him up, the more we wanted him to play. Why is he not playing Spence? Then Spence came in. Do you remember Spence then, saved Ange's job against Coventry in the cup, and he dropped him a couple of games later. Right,
Ange was clueless, Rain.
Well, no, but this is a consistent theme. It's not just Ange.
So what's De Zerbi if he sells him then?
Every single coach. Exactly, it's every single coach who's done it, and the only coach who didn't do it, and I can't remember his name. Is it Cooper? Who's the
Steve Cooper? Steve Cooper.
Yeah, he's the only one who's never done it. He's the only one. So
and let's us not forget that all the loans that he's had, people have had an issue with him as well. So, like, there's been issues on loans too. So it's
not every
loan.
Didn't like his attitude. When he went out, everyone didn't like his attitude.
Loans have been a bit of a trouble for him because he's not been played. Why? And then obviously he got sent back from Leeds because of his attitude. That's what was said. So I think that speaks volumes, in my opinion, more than what we don't know exactly what's been said and what's not been said, but actions speak louder than words, right? Every time a player comes back, when they come back from injury, Spence is dropped. If he was that good, he would keep his place, right? That's how I view it.
Yeah, I mean, listen. Go on, Dan. Go on.
I don't think he's a bad player. I don't particularly think he's okay. I don't even think he's necessarily someone. He's an all right player. He can play football. We know that, yeah. but no manager has wanted him. No manager has consistently played him, basically, unless they've had no other option. If we're going to play defensive at the back, I think he's the better option to have there as such, even if we play him as a right back, because I'll stick by it, because Spain have now proved it. Porro cannot defend come love nor money unless he stands in front of the ball, and any one of us can do that. And but you play him as a wing back and get him forward, you've got a very good player there. Yeah. Spence, when he gets forward, he's useless. He can't pass, he can't cross, he can't shoot properly. He's no use there. If anything, if you want your man to go forward on the left, then you've got to have Robertson there. He's probably our best crosser of the ball at the club at the moment.
Dan, what about his performance against Argentina was phenomenal on the left.
Yeah,
Spence.
But I don't understand Spence. I don't understand why Spence has never been. No one's ever tried to convert him into a centre back because he can't go forward. He can only defend, and he's good at it. He is good at it.
He's not a bad defender at all. I agree.
Yeah, so I don't understand why nobody's ever tried to convert him into a centre back.
I think he'd be good on the back, Rain. I think he'd be good on a back three on the left hand or the right hand side of it. I think he'd do a good job there, sort of thing.
But he's so good at beating his man, though. I don't understand why people are saying he's not good at getting forward.
But if you can't do nothing with it, what does it matter?
Well,
he's very good at getting forward with the ball. Can't cross, can't pass, can't shoot, loses it. Can't.
Dan,
so what's the point?
Dan, that wasn't the case in the semi-final. He played on a much higher level than anything he's ever done for Spurs.
But me and you can go and do that, Lubo, in one day and be absolutely special. I mean, anyone can have a special game. Anyone can do it. Any player can do it. Harry Winks went and controlled Real Madrid, for God's sake.
Well, listen, I think...
Whoa, hold on a minute.
Hang on. In that game.
He did.
He did.
He was superb.
Exactly.
In the 1-1 draw, he was superb in 2017.
Yeah. Gray was excellent against Chelsea.
Listen, we can't just pick and choose games. He's not been consistently good for Tottenham. That is a fact. He's not been consistently
bad either.
Lubo's got a point. I'm kind of with him here.
I don't think you can say that he's been consistently good with all the attributes that he offers Spurs if he keeps getting dropped. There must be a reason why he gets dropped.
Can I ask you, Mia, how many players have been consistently good for Spurs in the last 2 years, 3 years?
Again, that's a good point.
I think there has been, but we've also seen players keep their places, even like when there has been other players. I think there's something more to it. What I'm trying to say is that he hasn't been consistently good, but there's also, I believe, more to it. To why he gets dropped.
Mia.
Dan, before you go, can I just interrupt for a second? Hold on, Dan, 1 second. Chat, if you think I've not noticed the amount of messages you're putting out, you're wrong. I really have. It's amazing. This is what I'd like, if you don't mind, right? I'd like to get a sense of the general consensus among the fans. Can you just put in chat regarding Spence, keep or sell? That's it. Sorry, Danny. Go ahead, mate.
I mean, I agree with what Ian just said in the aspect of what Spurs player has been good. Then the fact that he can't get picked in the first team makes him look even worse now with what you've just said to me.
Well, managers are favourites, Dan. They are favourites.
But Ange ain't got a clue. If De Zerbi don't want him, has De Zerbi not got a clue? Or is it just De Zerbi realises that he ain't his man either? No, Thomas Frank didn't rate him. You know, if we have been that bad, which we have been that bad, and he still can't get into that first team, over a Dogie who, let's say 7 times out of 10, if not 8 times out of 10, he's crippled. That really don't make it look good, does it?
Well, he played enough games last season, didn't he?
Only because there was no option. Only because he had to. The second Dogie was fit, he was gone again.
Well, listen,
I think that's just what people are questioning. I think that's what Mia's questioning, sort of thing, in the aspect of if he is good, then why has no manager everywhere he's gone? Why has he been dropped everywhere he's gone? And I can't rate him over one or two good games for England.
Well, listen, I think they've got to look at how he played for England because he had a good World Cup and try and unlock it and just say, right, what did he do? How did he play? Analyse his game, analyse his position, what he did. Go through those matches. Just focus on him with a fine-tooth comb and say, right, how can we get that? How can we unlock that at Tottenham? because he was superb, and it was a World Cup semi-final. It wasn't a Carabao Cup second round game. So
but if you want to defend, then fine. But getting forward, when he did get forward a few times, he screwed it up and did absolutely nothing in his great game that he had.
He didn't. He was putting balls on a plate. I mean, just go back and watch it, Dan.
He got one cross.
He wasn't. It wasn't, Lebo.
Go on, Ray.
It wasn't. Dan's absolutely right. He did get. Yes, he got into the box, and then nothing happened. He doesn't put crosses in. I'm absolutely convinced that the biggest problem that a lot of coaches have with Spence, the fullback, is that he doesn't cross the ball at all. And Lubo, I remember at the end of last season, Vicario taking last minute, free kicks in the last, 2, 3, 4 minutes, passing short to Spence, and Spence then fluffing what was going to happen with the with that free kick, because he doesn't cross the ball. In fact, I can't remember what game it was, but we had a very similar position where Vicario, when we had a free kick on the right hand side, just inside their area. Vicario was taking the free kick, was going to kick it long. Spence came short, and Vicario just told him to get lost because it happened so many times. He doesn't set goals up. He doesn't lay on assists. He doesn't even lay on an assist for the assist. It's the mirage of Jed Spence is he's a great athlete and he does some fantastic last ditch challenges, and then people, I'm sorry, but then what I see is people going, oh, he had an amazing game, and they don't have a balanced view of what he's done throughout the whole thing.
Can I throw a spanner in the work here, right? This is just for me. Now, just quickly, on a side note, the catch up here, a good friend of mine, Catch, he said, Spence is cold, I'd take him at Arsenal. Now,
have you?
I'm starting to think a lot of maybe it's just Spurs fans that don't rate him, because everyone I speak to, I speak to Liverpool fans, Arsenal fans, they all think he's brilliant. But can I just throw this in the works?
How much does Catch watch him?
Hold on. Let me finish. Right, and also, by the way, listen, Catch is part of an Arsenal channel. I know it's the scum, but listen, these guys know how to run a show. They are fantastic. Please go check out the catch up. They're brilliant. All I'm simply trying to say is, you're all saying, oh, yeah, but Spence can't get forward. Do you not think it pays dividends to a team to have one attacking right back and one defensive right back? Is that really such a bad thing?
No, I don't think that's a bad thing. But again, you say with Spence, other teams that most supporters didn't even know Spence existed until those 2 good games in that World Cup.
Okay.
Are you telling me Catch would have sat here before that World Cup? Catch, would you have sat here before that World Cup and said you'd take Spence Arsenal? I very much doubt it. Do you think Man U or Liverpool even looked at him twice before he had that good World Cup? Because a good World Cup can definitely make a player get looked at and wanted. But again,
for sure,
2 good games that he's had of recent, and he's had a few other good games for Spurs, but he gets dropped every time. The only thing I'm bothered about is the homegrown. If we sold him, fair enough. If we want to use a defensive left back or right back, I'd say he's the better man to use. If you have a back 4 and you want your right back to be defensive, he starts over Spence, over Porro all day long, every day, all day. He's a much better defender than Porro.
No,
but when he gets forward, like he did for England, he got forward countless times, and I think he actually got 1 cross in there.
No, fair play. Well, just quickly before anyone else goes, he's fallen straight out of 300. It's the main man himself, Stelios. How are you doing, brother? You good?
300? What does that mean?
Yeah, it's because of that scene in 300. Stelios! I've done that thing
Oh,
with you before,
Sparta. Oh, right.
Yeah,
right.
that's the one. That's the one. My Greek brother, how are you doing? You okay?
Yeah, I'm good. How's everyone doing? Dan, Luba, Rain, Mia, you all good?
Evening still.
All good, mate.
Just quickly, Steph, it's all right, and I do need to move this along, but your conclusion. Now, Inter Milan want Spence, and Roma apparently want Udogi. Now, do you think there's truth in that, and do you think we can afford to lose both of them?
Is there truth? Yes. Do I think we can afford to lose them? No. Look. Was Spence the topic? I wasn't listening. I just jumped on because I finished.
Mainly Spence, but obviously we're throwing Udogie in there to try and save a bit of time because obviously it's come out today that Roma want Udogie and Inter Milan are convinced that they can get Spence for, what did I say, guys? 30 million? 25, 30 million?
Euros.
I think that's batshit crazy, personally.
Right.
Yeah.
My personal view is I think Spence is a very good player who's been completely mismanaged. And the club have, like many players, wrecked the player because chopping and changing managers, chopping and changing systems. He's never had a proper run in the team. No player can develop and progress unless there is stability in the club. It's not possible. So no player was good last season. None of them. Maybe Van der Ven. And the year before that, it wasn't that much better. So I just think Spence is a victim of a shit football club that doesn't know what it's doing. If we sell Spence and De Zerbi doesn't want him, then so be it, right? But I don't care how good De Zerbi is, and I like De Zerbi. I think he's going to do great at Tottenham. I do not believe getting rid of Spence while keeping absolute dog shit like Ben Davies, Robertson, who is defensively past it. He's not going to be good defensively one bit.
But light years ahead of Spencer going forward with a ball and crossing it. He's probably our best crosser and passer of the ball on the sides.
That's great, but he's the one that cost us the goal in the pre-season game. So we're going to have a liability on the pitch as much as we've got an attacking.
Or you have the liability with Spence. Or you have the liability with Spence when he gets forward and can't do jack shit with it.
Spence isn't a liability if he has to defend. So for me, we have no defensive players in this team who are good in the fullbacks. The only good defensive fullback is Spence, and we're binning him. If Porro gets injured, we are fucked. If Porro gets injured, we are absolutely screwed.
Yep.
And what we've done here, what we're doing now, is what we've done with the attackers. We got rid of Lancashire, who's not the answer, but we got rid of him whilst keeping the other dross. I don't mind if we get rid of Spence. If the manager doesn't want him, get rid of him. My issue is, don't get rid of him if what's going to be left behind is worse. And by the way, Robertson isn't going to last the season. He had injuries last season as well, and the year before that. So, listen, why not sell Spence in a year's time? Keep him for 1 year and sell him a year after when we can buy some fullbacks to come in as cover.
I get that one as well, and I'd agree with it. I'd rather see the back of a Dogie than Spence. It's just the point I argue with it is, like you say, and I said earlier on here, Spurs have been that bad. Literally every player has been that bad, but he still couldn't get consistently into the first team as soon as the Dogie was fit, or Porro. And every manager has dropped him still. Every manager has played him and then dropped him straight away.
Conte never wanted him because as soon as we signed him, Conte came out and said, "This is a club signing, not my signing." So Conte had it in for him before he even joined. Then afterwards, we can all agree here, Ange defensively was a lunatic. Right? Yes. Defensively, he was a lunatic. So all our defenders got battered. Romero got pummeled. Van der Ven got pummeled. They all got pummeled. Then Frank came in, who was just a joke. So this is what I mean. We've never had stability to properly judge players, to say we can judge Ben Davies because we've seen him for 11 years, right? we can judge Basuma because we saw him for like 5 years. But I just think there's certain players that just never got a proper crack at it. So I would keep Spence, but if De Zerbi doesn't want him, it doesn't matter what I think. De Zerbi doesn't want him. It's what the manager wants, isn't it? So.
See, the weird thing is, sorry,
could I just say, Spurs played 53 competitive games last year. Spence played in 44 of them out of 53.
I mean, you've got reliability there.
How many subs?
Yeah, how many did he start, Lubo?
I haven't got the breakdown. I've got the programme here.
Oh, come on, Lubo. I expected better off you with that for a pre-counter, mate. Come on. I expected you to throw numbers at me there and then.
He played 44. Porro played 47. And
Lubo, the last two seasons, we've had an injury crisis like no other club. It's just been It's been a nightmare at Spurs injury-wise, isn't it? It's not been good.
Well, he played an average of 70 minutes per Premier League appearance. So that's not somebody who's starting a lot. And considering for the majority of last season, 70 minutes per Premier League appearance. So considering
that's nearly 80% of every game. Right.
Well, yeah, but he's not. Wait a minute, I hadn't finished.
Whoa, that's
right. Considering considering we had Frank for the majority of last season, who only made subs in the 80th minute. What that's telling you is he actually didn't start many of those games. He was on and he was off, and that's been his career at Tottenham Hotspur. Like I was saying before, is even under Ange, he came and saved Ange, and then a couple of games later, Ange ditched him, right? And we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We can only look at what's going on. We can only take in the data and make conclusions based on that information. And when there's just like Mia says, when it's consistent, when it's it's not 6 months or a year, it's number of years over. Yeah, as Stell says, a number of managers that we've seen the consistent behaviour from Spence. But I'm still in the position where, despite all I've said about Spence's qualities, I don't want us to sell him because I don't think that's a problem that we need to solve. I prefer that we expend our energies getting some goals in the team. And so I'm quite happy with, I'd be kicking the can down the road. I'd be kicking it into next summer.
Can I ask you guys a question, right? where some of you say no manager liked him, why did Thomas Tuchel like him then?
Why did Thomas Tuchel go and put bloody 8 defensive-minded players on a pitch against Argentina with 20 minutes left?
But my question is, why did Tuchel pick Spence, though, to go to the World Cup?
Maybe Tuchel saw something in it. But when it came down to it, yes, he had 2 good games in the World Cup. But when he got forward, he screwed it up every time bar once. He got, what was it, 1 cross in out of how many times he actually get forward. Don't get me wrong, that game against Argentina, he played well at the back until he screwed it on the last bit, same as the rest did, by not following what they were doing with the ball 4 times over on the bloody corner and let them still do it. He was just as much at fault as the rest of the players for that one, yeah. But if we're going to play defensive, then I'd rather keep Spence over Udogie personally. I'd say Udogie would be the one I'd let go, but for me, it's more of a homegrown thing. The rest of it, what? I really.
Dan, I hear you. I hear you, mate. But listen, I'm seeing left, right, and centre. Spurs fans really don't seem to be too drawn to Spence. I mean, Scott M's in the chat, and he says, "Please let the rumours be true about Spence." I mean, come on now. Like for me, I understand what people are saying, but you got to think about replacing him. Like the guy can play left and right. He's English. He's 25. Like he's the perfect backup. And I know I can't argue with the fact that a lot of players haven't really stuck with him. A lot of managers, haven't really stuck with him. I find that strange because I feel like he has. And I get that, but I still feel like he outperforms what we've got most of the time. Look, Spence is a bit of an enigma. I'm not sure why he gets so much hate. I think he's a very respectable player. He's not the world's best, and he's certainly not the worst. I just think for the amount of money that you'd have to spend to replace him, to possibly play as backup, is it really worth it? That's why I think he's so valuable to Tottenham. But look, we'll move on from that because otherwise it's going to be the fucking bench side.
Can I just say, I disagree with what you said. I see a lot of Spurs fans saying we should be keeping Spence. Most Spurs fans I see online actually think we're mad to get rid of him. Personally, maybe I'm looking in different places.
I don't see that still. I don't see that. I see the opposite.
I see it's more of a meh sort of thing. The more I've seen of people is more of a, okay, we could keep him for this and that, but if we get rid of him, it's not the end of the world either. I've seen more people not really so bothered about it. If it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't.
See, I think the problem is you see you got a lot of people who are trying to go to the extreme. They're trying to say he's good or he's bad, and they're not doing a balanced view. which is these are his qualities, these are his characteristics, and this is what it means for us if we got rid of Spence at this point in time. They're just like, either I don't like him or I think he's amazing, and it's like, well, actually, there's a lot more in there rather than just a 1 or a 0. If that's where I stand.
No, listen, guys, I understand. I for one would want to keep hold of Spence. I think he's invaluable to the club, given what he's capable of doing. But again, I suppose, do you ask the question, is it okay to have a player that's not great going forward? Look, the way I look at it is, and this might be a crazy take, I think with Spence, there aren't too many better left or right backs in the league that are that good at 1v1 defending. I think Spence is fantastic at that most of the time. So there lie his value as well. Look, the hate he does get, I just think it's a little bit
Can you stop saying hate? I don't think it's hate.
Yeah.
I don't think it's hate.
No, you say that. You say that, Mia.
It's disrespect.
I mean,
because I don't rate a player, I hate him or disrespect him because I don't rate him.
I think that it's actually being critical of a player.
Yeah.
I think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think it's disrespectful to be critical of a player.
No, I agree. Just quickly, guys, the two Marks have done a raid. Listen, that means the world to me. Thank you very much, my little channel. I'm very humbled. Thank you very much, boys. For anyone who's not come over from there, please go and like and subscribe to the two Mark shows. They always pump out quality content. They're a couple of good guys. Good guys. But listen, we're going to wrap the Spence thing up because, like I said, we're not having a Spence show here, okay? We've got to get away from it. Otherwise, we'll be there all night. Right. The next thing I'd like to come to is our winger situation. Now, guys, tell me if I'm not mistaken here, but we've got one fit winger at Tottenham Hotspurs. And the question I want to pose to you lot, is there a plan at Tottenham Hotspurs? Because right now, I'm at panic stations, I won't lie. Listen, we've heard from De Zerbi. He was on the Mid the other day. It's some sort of YouTube channel. And I watched it and I heard him say, he reiterated the fact, we are not finished in this transfer market. Now, given the fact that we're letting our wingers go, like Mikey Moore, like Solomon, for me, we're down to bare bones. Is there a plan here, people? Lubo, take the floor, my man.
Okay, there must be, because Solomon's gone to West Ham. Yang's going on loan to Wickham. Mikey Moore, at the moment, I think it's on hold, but it looks like he's going to Cologne. So they've got to have something up their sleeve. You're not going to release 3 players out of 6 and leave yourself with 3 forwards. Not even wingers, 3 forwards. You got one winger in Tel, one person that can play wide. So for me, and this is where, and I sort of held back because you said to me before you were coming on to talk about wingers. Utilise 2 players to their strengths. You keep Spence, you play him at right back, you push Porro further forward. Spence is the better defender. Porro, as we saw playing for Spain, you play him in that position. For Tottenham, you'll get a lot more out of him. We're short on the rights. Porro's your perfect person. Technical, battles hard, doesn't stop. Great passer of a ball, can put a cross in on a sixpence. For me, and that's why it doesn't make sense selling Spence, because you're losing the opportunity of pushing Porro further up if we're not going to have anybody in place for Brentford.
You can put, I've said it before, I think if needs be and you're in that situation, I've said it before, put Spence on the right and stick Porro up as the winger for the meantime sort of thing, because I think he could cover that position for the meantime, because he is a wing back. It's like I've been telling everyone for 2 years, he can't bloody defend, he's not a right back, but as a wing back, we got a very good player there if we play him properly, and Spain proved it, how to play him. But I think he could cover that right-hand position at times if we needed him to be.
Somebody tried that though, didn't they? Somebody did try that. Somebody did do it.
I think it was only one game, wasn't it? Yeah, I think it was one game they did it for, wasn't it?
Under Igor Tudor. Yeah. So well done, Igor Tudor, for doing that.
I was going to say, Mia, I want to come to you. Is there a plan?
No. I don't feel like there is a plan. I was thinking we will get players in, and I still believe that. But with the whole thing with the squad, how many we actually need to get out and to bring any more in, I feel like this is an absolute mess. So if we're looking to get some more in, we do have to do a major squad exodus. So no, I don't think there is a plan. And when it comes to the wingers, we've got rid of Solomon. I don't think he was good enough, but then that obviously left us short on the right if Kudos isn't fit. We haven't got a left wing, we've only got Tell. So I think, it does leave us in a bit of a conundrum for sure. Like, I don't really know how we solve that unless we buy these players quick, fast, before the end of the season starts, which I can't see happening.
Okay, I'll tell you what, I'll phrase it in a different way. So, guys, we've heard from Roberto De Zerbi, we've heard from Enoch previous to the start of this window. Do you have faith that we will be able to bring people in? Do you think that is the plan? Because, look, we're down to one. Okay, one. That's all we've got at the club, and we play with wingers. Do you guys have faith that the board are going to bring people in? Lubo, I know we've gone past you already, but I'll come back to you here because I know you've got something to say on this. Do you have faith that this board is going to do something for us? Do you have faith that something's going to happen?
You're asking me? Sorry.
Yes.
Listen, the board have given Vinay the money. They've done their job. They've said you buy, you spend what you want, and you bring players in on wages. There's no cap. So I don't know what more the board can do. It's down to the people in the recruitment team now to go and bring the players in. I moaned about Enoch. I hated Enoch for 25 years. There was no ambition. There was a wage cap. They weren't interested in being successful. These guys have, if De Zerbi's there to win the league. He's not there to finish fourth or fifth. Ultimately, that's him. He's a carbon copy of a Conte without having Conte's trophies. But personality-wise, he's the same sort of person. He's determined. He's dedicated to winning. So they're there. They've given them the money. It's up to the recruitment team now to sort it out.
So Benji, So Benji, right? So a little saying, right? Never put to malice something that could just be incompetence, right?
Okay.
And I don't think they've got any control over what they're doing in the transfer market. I've been saying it for 5 or 6 weeks. Me and Lubo had a right ding dong about 3 weeks ago about it, right? That they need to. The reason why we have stalled, I'm absolutely convinced, and I've been saying, like I said, I've been saying for 4 or 5 weeks, is they need to sell. They need to get rid of players to make room in the squad. I was the one like 5 weeks ago who was going on because I got my spreadsheets. Adrian knows, he's in chat. Right, there you go. There's Adrian. Adrian knows. We've got my spreadsheets, so I can see that we were 7 over the non-homegrown quota. Whilst everyone else is saying we need this player, we need that player, and I'm like, whoa. There's a problem in the data that you're not looking at. They've got themselves into a position, not through a bad thing, right? But just because of the market, because they can't sell players. They've got themselves into a position where they need to get players out, like Mia's saying. They need to get... who thought at the start of the transfer window, we all knew Vicario's going, right? And they went and got Dubravka. So, we knew that Romero was going. They've clearly got our defenders in mind, which is great, by the way, with a view to getting Romero out. Nobody thought that Solomon was going to stay at the club. Everybody... They've gone and got Tonali and Fernandez. So, did anybody really expect Pape Matar Sarr, who's another non-homegrown, to stick around? They've done all that work, and then they've hit what was outside of their control, which is a completely stagnant market. No one is buying. So They cannot sell these players that everybody knew that they were going to get rid of, and now they can't get rid of them. And so they're stuck. What do? Do they go and sign 3 more non-homegrown players? Do they go and get Gakpo and Savinho and Osimhen and then end up with a hot potato at the end, with Romero, potentially with Romero, Vicario, Sarr. We can all say, oh, of course it will happen. But none of us have got a crystal ball. All we know is where we currently are and what the problems are. That's all we currently know.
The problem we got on the plan thing, and it's like I said it on Mark's show this morning. I used to, when I used to have something planned up, I used to like it to know what I was going to do, step for step for step, plan it 100%. If you plan something 100% to do it a certain way, the only thing that can happen is more things go wrong because you've got it planned to go a certain way. Now, there's nothing wrong with having a plan of what you want to do, but if you do it step by step on how you want to do it, more can go wrong, basically. For me, the way I'll deal with something is I'll have, let's say, 50, 60% of it a plan, and then 40% of it I'll go with a flow. But the difference is with me and Tottenham, by the look of it, is I can make a decision on the moment when I have to. Tottenham don't look like they can. That's the thing that lets them down. If you go and plan something 100% step by step you want to do, then only more can go wrong. And if you don't get that player, oh, where do I go for now? Sort of. That's where we need to make the decision. Right. Are we going to get Savinio or not? There's the final bit. You got 2 days. No, right. Fuck off. We go for the next one. Yeah. That's where we need to have that other side of the bit that isn't planned where we can make the decision there and then. Okay. If you've got it planned up, if it doesn't work for A, B, C, D, whatever, and that, you can have all that planned. But if all of a sudden there's a few injuries in those plans as well, you've got to be able to then make your mind up on the moment and make a decision on the moment. I reckon there was a plan to this, yeah? I just don't reckon it's gone 100% right. I reckon the plan was start from the back, build it up to the front, because the back will be the easiest to sort out along with the midfield, because that is where there's plenty of players to get. And then what we will do is we will get these players that we want up front, and I think it's just fallen off a cliff when it's come to going up front. I do think there was a plan there. But maybe,
and Dan, get players in first. Get players in first.
Hold on, Rain. Let him finish and then jump back in.
Sorry, I'm just adding to the plan. Get players in first and then sell them.
Yeah, I think the mistake Spurs might have actually made is they've planned this 100% and not give themselves a bit of breathing space for if something goes wrong. Like I said, if you plan something step for step, more can go wrong than if you plan it 60, 70% and then go with a flow. You've always got to be able to have that breaking point of being able to, make a decision because something else hasn't gone right.
Dan, there's a military saying, right, which is no plan survives contact with the enemy. And that's what's happened. I absolutely make you right. Their plan was clearly 100%. Work from the front back to front, get players in, and then sell players, and all of that's great. All of that is fantastic. That is fine. But then what they've hit is nobody's buying the players that we want to get rid of. And which they don't have control over. It's not their fault. It's not their fault, but they have to deal with it. They have to step up. They have to, they're going to
have to take a pay cut. They're going to have to take a kick in the bollocks for nearly every player. I mean, bar maybe 3 players in that team who has actually justified that they're actually worth any more money than what we actually bloody bought them for.
Rain, can I push back? Can I push back on something Rain said? So, Rain, are you convinced that we need to sell to buy? Is that what you're trying to say? Am I understanding that right?
We need to get rid of players out of our squad to buy. It's not about money.
Not about money, for size. For squad size.
Okay, fair enough. I mean, the one thing that as Spurs fans we've complained about over the years is a lack of a backup plan. A plan B, a plan C. Do you know what I mean? Do you think we've got that now? Because I'm not being funny. Since this whole Savinio nonsense, and I'm sick of that now, by the way, since that's gone quiet, well, I say it's gone quiet every week, it seems to be. We've nearly signed him. We're close. We're pushing. It's fucking boring. Do you think we've got a backup plan? Because surely, and still I'll come to you on this, surely at this point, you would have thought we would have brought in another player, somebody else, another winger or another 2 wingers, whatever it may be. Do you think we've got a plan as Spurs when it comes to buying players still? Do you think that's changed?
No.
Okay, go on, elaborate.
Well, I never got on board with ENIC 2.0, not once. I said I'll judge him in 4 years' time. We repeat the same mistake every year, okay? Yay! Mourinho's gone. Thank God for that. We've got Conte, and then within a year, get him out. Yay! Conte's gone. We've got Ange. Within a year, get him out. Yay! We've got rid of Ange. We've got Frank. He's a proper coach. Within 6 months, get him out. Now we've got De Zerbi. Yay! Doesn't matter who the manager is, guys. It doesn't fucking matter. It's what we do in the transfers. It's whether we back the manager. And everyone's like, but it's changed. It's different. We broke the transfer record. 100 for Tonali, 85. Hold on a minute. 100 for Tonali, 85 million for Fernandes. We sold Vuskovic for 50.
Great business.
We sold Lancashire for 20. We're going to sell Romero for 50, 40. We're going to sell Spence for 30, 40, 50. We are balancing the books. We are going to sell players to fund them. Nothing has changed. Lubo talks about they've got the money. Well, I don't believe that because we wouldn't need to sell players. We could just go and buy everyone, then worry about selling later. This is exactly what we did under Levy. For me, nothing's changed. And if we're going to blame Vinay, well, who hired Vinay? Enoch. So for me, nothing has changed. Nothing. It looks different, and everyone got excited at the beginning. But if we start the season with these dead attackers, forget it. We're a mid-table team. If we go and sign, though, I will be fair. If we go and sign 2 really good attackers, really good, I will say, do you know what? Things are changing for now, but they've got to do it, and there's no signs that we are going to do it. I put a message up on my YouTube channel today saying, happy 1 year anniversary since Fabrizio Romano told us we were linked to Savinio. And we're still having this conversation a year on. Happy anniversary.
What is it? 3 windows, isn't it? 3 transfer windows. We've been linked up with him and fighting for him, innit?
Spurs want Gakpo. Spurs in talks for Gakpo. Liverpool. We're not selling. He's part of the... What are we doing? I honestly think we're going to start the season with Richie, Solanke, Tell. Maybe we get him one.
Don't.
Richie Solanke, I agree.
I said this in May.
We are going to start with him.
Don't.
But what would you rather we do?
I said in May, all 3 of them will be here next season. And I said Lange ain't going nowhere. And so far, it's all coming true. If Enoch was serious, they would have got rid of Lange, got rid of at least 2 of these crap attackers, and sorted out the biggest problem, which is the recruitment, the guy in charge of it, and these awful attackers that we've got at this club that have wrecked us for 2 years. Our attack is awful. That's the first thing we should have fixed, but okay.
Do you know one thing I would push back on is that whilst I understand, obviously, the frustration of everybody saying that we're buying to sell and obviously saying about the money, I think like the fact is that goes hand in hand, right, with buying new players. You have to sell some, and whether we make money back from them is neither here nor there. It's the intent, right? That's our problem. It's the intent, because they obviously showed intent at the beginning by going out and buying these players that obviously to get them in, we had to do that quickly in order to make sure we are the ones that got them. When we did pay a lot of money for them, but it's the like we have to see that intent be continued, and I think that's the problem. It isn't about how much money we bring back in, because that's inevitable. If you're going to buy, you're going to have to sell, right, to make room. And if we make money back, it's not really a big issue. That's not my issue. It's the intent that's the issue, I think, more so than the money, because I don't really care about that part. That part for me is neither here nor there, like I say. It's about the
But is that
intent.
how big clubs do it, though, Mia?
Yeah, because if you think about it, a lot of clubs we did spend a lot of money at the beginning and we did sell some players, but most clubs do that. Most clubs do that because they have to, because you can't register all the players. So depending on how big your squad is, and we have got an inflated squad, I mean, that's what happens, right? You sell players. Man City are about to sell Rodri, right? Like, do you know what I'm saying? So, like, it happens. So I don't think it's abnormal for any team to do so. It's just about the intent, right? That's the problem, I think, that most people have.
Okay, let's talk about intent. First thing we did was to give Ben Davies a new contract and keep Tell. Then we've got Senesi on a free, Dubravka on a free, Robertson on a free. This is the same thing I've seen time and time again.
I mean, if they're good players, does it really matter?
Senesi is good. Senesi is good. You're right. Robertson, he's washed. He's going to last a maximum year or 2 before he needs replacing. Dubravka, Kinski's going to be number 1. Kinski's the number 1, right? Then you've got. if you take Tonali and Fernandez out of this summer window, it's a bang average window again. Those two, I think, have, what's the word when they've not gaslight, but when you do two things they've hoodwinked. Those two transfers have hoodwinked everyone. But I repeat, I don't actually disagree with a lot of what I said. I will say this: if we sign two attackers, really good attackers, not just attackers for the sake of it, but really good attackers, then I will completely change what I've just said.
But
hold on. Do you not put? Hold on 2 seconds. Do you not put Van Hecker in that category as well? Because his stock has risen season upon season.
No, because what we're doing is we've signed Van Hecker because we're getting rid of other defenders. We're not building, we're replacing. This is what we always do. Romero's out, get one in. Dragusin's out, get one in. It's not, let's build. It's replace. The squad's still going to be weak because if Van Hecker gets injured, who comes in?
We've built on midfield though still.
Danzo. Fucking Danzo.
No,
You've
got Senesi.
What is wrong with you and fucking Danzo?
All right.
You've got three very good centre-backs still. You've got three very good centre-backs.
Van der Ven's a left-sided centre-back, not a right-sided centre-back. If the right-sided centre-back gets injured, Danzo plays.
Well, you could bring Senesi in.
You're not listening.
You think Danzo comes in front of Senesi?
Is Senesi a left or right-sided centre-back?
Senesi can play both sides.
No, he can't. He's a one.
Yes, he can.
On one side. No, he can't. He plays on one side. He's right. Lubo, is he right-footed or left-footed? He's right-footed.
He might be both-footed still.
He's not. He's a right-footed centre-half. But my point is, if we have an injury issue at the back, in comes Danzo. He's a bozo. He's awful at these tactics, and everyone's going to see it this season. So we're not building. We're replacing. I don't think we're going to start building until 2-3 years' time.
But in midfield, we've built. Midfield, we have gone and bought players that are significantly better than what we've got. I mean, Fernandez.
Yeah, but that's because we got rid of Bissouma and we got rid of Paulinho. We're going to get rid of Sarr. So Dan, I agree.
But the quality
players that
of
are coming in are better.
Yeah, that's what
I agree. They're better, but we're not building. We're replacing. We're replacing with better. But the problem at Spurs is we need to replace the first 11, then build the squad, which is why I'm patient with De Zerbi and Spurs.
I agree with that.
But
we are only on one game a season this year, basically, apart from cup games. We haven't got to worry about being in Europe or nothing. So maybe we don't need the squad as big as it was and get as much crap out as we can and slowly build it together. I mean, if we would have just gone for strikers first and a winger, the hardest positions to get out there for everybody by the look of it, because we're fighting tooth and nail to get Savinho and job still ain't done. If we would have done it at the start of the window, would we be any further? I very much doubt it because we've been trying to do it for 3 seasons. If we'd have just concentrated on then we'd have lost out on Robertson. I know you don't care about that one, but for a freebie, more than good enough. I mean, but why we kept Davis, I'll agree with that. Getting Robertson in, we should have got Davis. We'd have missed out on Senesi. We'd have probably missed out on Van Heck. We'd have missed out on Tonali and definitely missed out on Fernandez. So what they've done is built up from the bit that they know they can get it done, get it replaced now. Up front is just where it's gone totally wrong, and they're not finding themselves any other options because they're not looking at the Premier League, which is down to ENIC.
Sorry, go on. Can I just jump in? Hold on. Can anyone else hear that interference?
Yes.
Who's that coming from?
See, can I just say, right, this dickhead in the chat, I'll call you what you are, Stephen Kratz, still looking to be negative as usual. I was on We Are Tottenham TV. They clipped me. And I said, we are going to be really good under De Zerbi. I think he's going to turn the club around. Right? But you do this. People like you do this. You spout this absolute bollocks out of your mouth because I have an opinion on this particular topic that is different to what you want to hear. If you want an echo chamber, go watch Chris Cowlin. He'll give you an echo chamber all day. I'm not going to bow down.
Well, hold on. Don't get me in trouble here, still. Fucking.
I'm not saying it. I'm not saying it.
Chris, I didn't mean it. He didn't mean it.
No, I mean it. He's an echo chamber. That channel's an echo chamber.
No, I know.
I will stick by my views and opinions. But just because my views and opinions are different to others, it doesn't mean I think De Zerbi's not going to do a good job. I repeat, I think De Zerbi is going to do a really, really good job at this club. I do. Mm-hmm. How far he takes us will be down to what ENIC want to do.
But if we don't get that left winger or striker, yes, we've missed out on the positions we definitely need to improve. But you still can't say it's been a poor window because of the players that we have brought in take us up a level, basically.
But Dan, we're in the same position we were under Conte, where we sorted out, midfield, but we didn't get him the defenders that he needed to do what to play the way that he wanted to play, and he ended up compensating, playing ultra defensive. Fans revolted, and so did Conte. Right, that the whole Spence thing. It was nothing about Spence. It was about the fact that Conte wasn't getting the players that he wanted, and Spence was just a proxy for that war that Conte was having with the board, knocking his players. And then under Ange, we had defence and we had attack, but we didn't have any midfield.
Okay. But
right?
with the team we've got now, Brain,
and
would you say that's 8th position? Would you say 8th is a fair call for the team we've got now?
No.
I mean, if you're asking me, I've been saying quite consistently at the moment, if we go in like this, I reckon 12th to 4th. I reckon we're going to be in the bottom half.
Okay, fair enough. I think 8th or 9th, and that's a significant improvement on the previous 2 seasons.
But Dan, who's going to get the goals for us to finish 8th or 9th?
Yeah, that's the problem.
This is the bit I don't.
But I totally get your point there. But the other reason we lost a lot of games last season was because there was absolutely no control in midfield as soon as we started playing like Gray Sarr in the middle with Bergvall and everything else. But we looked a little bit better under Paulini and Bentancur. There was a bit of control now. We've now got 2 midfielders that can control the midfield. We also lost a lot of games due to absolutely dickhead defending of people like Romero being up the other end of the pitch and not bothering to come back. And also Van der Ven was a crock shit towards the end of last season as well, same as everyone. The defence was a total mess. The only thing that lets us down at the back, basically, by chance, is a goalkeeper that isn't proven. But where we've now got control of midfield, we can control a game with that if it lands properly. On paper, it looks like we can. On paper, it looks like defence is better as well. You can easily put another 12 to 15 points on us that we lost purely because of defence. But then there is going to be games that we lose out on because we just ain't got the attack to do it. If it gets us up to 8th or 10th, then it's a massive improvement.
That's great. That's great if you're a defensive team. If you're Frank, if you're Conte, but if you're a front-footed, possession-based team that's going to leave space behind, and I saw against Sydney FC, they got in behind us a few times, but they were terrible up front. We're going to get called. We're going to get exposed because we are going to play front-footed attacking football, not kamikaze like Ange, where everyone's on the halfway line. It'll be a little bit deeper, but we're going to get caught out. So to depend on the defense to bail us out isn't going to happen this year.
And the midfield to control a game like they do.
Well, that's assuming they're fit. Maddison's injured. Simmons is injured. Fernandez is injured.
I'm looking at more Tonali and Fernandez.
Fernandez isn't injured. He played in that second game the other day. He's fine.
All right,
with also backup of Bentancur and Gallagher there. I think that's quite a solid centre mid we've got, if I'm going to be honest.
Well, hold on. Let me come in here, right? Listen, the original question was...
For me, goals win games, guys. If you can't score goals, you ain't winning nothing.
And you're absolutely right.
Defences win you leagues and cups as well.
We're not winning the league or a cup without scoring goals.
Guys, let me speak.
You have to score. The team that scores the most wins. Who's scoring?
I'm going to get to that. Now. Look, I want to come to Mia very quickly. Listen, the original question was, does Spurs have a plan here? The question I want to ask now is, if we don't fix this forward line in this transfer window, does that mean it's a failure, Mia?
I think that it would be a big disappointment. I think that so far, for me, I would say it's a 5 out of 10. So I don't think it's a complete failure. I wouldn't rate it a 2 or 3 because I do think what we have got in midfield is an improvement. I think the defenders we've got in are very good defenders. So I do think that it's a 5. But if we didn't get any attackers in, I think it will be a massive disappointment. And I am with Stel as well with the fact that we do need someone to score these goals. But I'm also partly with what Dan says, because having control of the midfield and a better defence can also help you. It's just about whether we can put that ball in the back of the net. The thing is that we're going to lose less games. So therefore, we are going to gain points as well. Because if we're not losing games, I know it's not winning games, which is not what we want. We want to win games of football, but there's certain games of football last season that we shouldn't have lost, right? And we end up losing them because of stupid mistakes. And I think them ones can be fixed by having a better defence and a better midfield to control the game. So whilst
it's easier to win a game, you score 1 we score 1, you score 0, instead of trying to play every game you score 3, we score 4.
100%.
I mean,
100%.
So that means that's what I'm saying. We think that it would be a massive, massive disappointment not to have anyone who's going to put that ball in the back of the net. But I do also think that it's not going to be this huge failure, because I do see us being better.
Guys,
and also,
sorry, Mia, sorry.
Also, I feel like when we played football with Frank, he didn't go out to try and win games of football. So that also didn't help with us, because we didn't try to win games. So I feel like now we're going to actually try to win games. The issue is going to be putting that ball in the back of the net. But I do think that we are going to be more controlled. I don't think we're going to lose as many games stupidly like we have done. That's just my opinion.
If this is the way that we're going to play, then we're going to make the same mistakes that we've made in the past, which is we're going to get the right coach who's going to play the right style for Tottenham Hotspur to suit our culture. And then we're going to tell him, you have to be pragmatic, because we're not going to give you the players that you need to play your style.
I don't think they will. I don't think he won't change his style.
Delusional.
He's not going to change his style. Hang on, still.
And
Let
that's
me
why we're
talk
not
for a
going to
minute.
be good defensively.
Still, let me talk for a sec.
Hold on,
This is
one at a time.
delusional.
Hold on,
This
still,
is
let Lubo go
delusional.
first.
This
I'll
is
come straight
absolutely
to you.
delusional.
I'll come straight to you after. Go on, Lubo.
Right.
I know
All
you're
three
chomping at the bit
midfield
still.
all three midfield players have scored in pre-season, and this is gonna we're gonna see this during the season. All
Against
three,
who?
Gallagher,
Sydney,
Fernandez,
Auckland,
and Sonali, all scored in pre-season.
against Kangaroo
They're getting
FC.
up. They're getting up to the box. So you're gonna spread the goals around, and that's what's going to happen. You're going to get and if you win 1-0, and you keep winning 1-0, do any of us care if we're high up in the table?
The stadium will care. The stadium will care.
No, Rain. The stadium will care if we start losing. The stadium will care if it's bad football and you're not getting anywhere. Like Frank, people get pissed off with that. If you're winning games, you're further up in the table. The fans have got to understand that you've had, I'd say, in terms of recruitment, you've had 9 years of neglect since Spurs left the lane, and then from then there was 3 windows we didn't buy, and it's got worse since then. And not one player has been an upgrade on Poch's 11 from that 16-17 season. We're now starting to get better players. And the fans have got to realise you can't put right in 5 minutes what's gone wrong in 9 years. So people have just got to be a little bit patient. Arsenal fans, Arteta was 8th in his first season. Then he was 5th. Then second, then first.
He had Aubameyang and Lacazette up front, though. So he could win the
binned
FA
them
Cup
off,
and finish
and he
8th.
binned them off very quickly.
To bring in new players. We're not binning any off. They're still here, Lubo. This is mad. This is mental.
Yeah, but where can we sell them to still? Where can we sell Richarlison to?
This manager has come in to play attacking football. We are not going to be this defensive 1-0 team. It's for the birds what is being said.
He is going to lose his. He is going to lose his stuff. He's going to lose his junk if he has to play pragmatic football. He is.
He won't play, but he won't
want
Rain.
to. But how can we sell Richarlison?
Guys, one at a time.
Rain, he plays one style of football, De Zerbi. He's played
who's going to play it for him, Lubo? Who's going to play this football for him? At the moment, one left winger, Sell. Okay? One fit striker. And let's not pretend that that's not going to be the case throughout the season, that we're going to have one fit striker. Which one it is will depend on which week it is. It will either be Solanke or Richie will be the fit one. And we currently have no fit right wingers. If Kudus comes back, then we've got one until Odobert is back, December, January, February?
November, December.
Right?
November, December.
So let's just say, best case, we've got one left winger, one striker, one right winger. Who is doing this work that you're talking about?
Well, if you get Maddison back, you get Kudus back. Kulusevski will be back hopefully before Christmas. Simmons will be back just after Christmas. It's not like we haven't got the players at the club. They're just not fit at the moment. And that's the problem.
Point. That's
the problem,
Ian.
When you look at Frank never got grace for that. Frank never got grace for that. Ange never got grace for that.
We know that.
None of them.
We've got
a good point still.
But the other point is, who is going to... I totally agree. Solanke and Richarlison, absolute dog shit. They got to go. Who in their right mind is going to buy them except maybe Coventry? and they ain't going to pay the money that we want for it. Who's going to honestly pay more than 15 million for Richarlison? Who's going to honestly pay more than 15, 18 mil for Solanke? Realistically.
Well, hold on. Richarlison produces 10 plus goals a season when fit. So I mean,
Well, tell me someone who'd buy him then. Tell me someone that you think would buy him. Maybe
why can't we bring in the players first and then say to Solanke and Richie, you're not playing because they've come in. Speak to your agent because you ain't going to play football at this club. What do you want to do?
I agree.
No,
I would bring them in first, and that's how I feel big teams do it.
Yeah, I agree with that. But it's not so easy to get rid of the players if no one wants to buy them, basically. I mean, Romero, this world-class player that people have said, and a few people have stated it, that we've had for so long. Last season, he wanted out. We was willing to let him go. No one's putting a bid for him. This year,
they did. They wouldn't pay the money, Dan. They did.
Either way, well, we're lucky if we get rid of him now and make 30 million on him, for God's sake.
There's 3 clubs in for him, Dan.
Yeah, and we ain't going to make no bloody money on him. He's not that wanted, is he?
We will lose money on him.
Inter Milan, Atletico Madrid, and Arsenal are in for him. They're not shit clubs, Dan. You're not talking lower league Premier League. You're talking 3 top teams.
Yeah, and how many Arsenal one we know ain't going to happen. We all knew that, yeah? Would I complain with him going there? I couldn't give a toss, yeah? But if he was that wanted, other teams would be coming in and putting in significant money for him. Nobody did over the 2 years.
Right. Nobody wanted a Ndombele. Nobody wanted a Ndombele.
Money.
Right? Nobody wanted a Ndombele, so we sold him at half price. Got him off the books, took the hit because that's the only way.
Did we sign his contract off?
And
did we sign his contract off?
We paid him off.
Sell him.
We paid him off.
So whatever we did, we took a hit. We're going to have to take a hit.
I agree
on
that.
If we fucked up, if we've got it wrong, if we've mismanaged the club, there's consequence. And the consequence is you are going to take a financial hit. That's because of your poor practices. Don't do it again. Learn. It's the reality of it. What? No one's going to give us the money we want for these players.
I agree. I've said from day one, still, if you remember, that we need to get rid of these players and we need to take tuppence money for them because people ain't going to offer what we want. And also, they haven't justified being worth a fucking pot to piss in. And the other side of it as well is everyone knows we're desperate to get rid of them. So they're going to offer us even less. But they got to go.
Do you know what it is, guys? Do you know what it is? I spoke to Sava today and we completely agreed with each other. We just want to be excited about Tottenham. I just want to feel excited. And no matter what we do, if we start with Tell, Solanke and Richie, I have no excitement anymore. It's gone. No matter how good the midfield is, no matter how tidy the back line is, I lose my excitement. And that's it. I just want to be excited. I just sign 2 decent attackers. Just make me get behind the team for a season, believing that it's actually going to be a good season. Because if I see those 3, I don't know about you lot. I just get depressed when I see them. I really get depressed when I see them.
To be fair, still, I don't think anyone here is saying that they particularly want to keep Richie and Solanke. I don't think anybody here wants that at all. And I'm not saying for 1 second that we don't need new attackers. Like, we absolutely do. But the question was, is it a failure if we don't get them with what we've got? And I said I rate it a 5 out of 10 so far with what we've got in so far. That's what I rate the window. But definitely, we need some attackers. We have to have someone who puts the ball in the back of the net. Like, I do agree with you. But I do think that games will be different this season. I do think it will be a little bit different with the way that we're going to play with De Zerbi. And I do think he's getting some players in that he does obviously rate and want. And I do think it will be a more exciting team. But we do need someone to put the ball in the back of the net.
So why are we going for Savinho then? So why are we going for Savinho then?
I don't want Savinho. So you've got to ask your boy over there who likes him, innit? Like, don't ask me because I'm against.
You do not badmouth that man in my presence. That's it. If you badmouth him, you're off the show instantly. All right.
And come back to our mutual friend Queen Ellie. If you're building a house but you don't put a roof on it, if you don't put a roof on it, is it a house?
Mm-hmm. But if you also don't put the basement on it, it'll fall through as well.
So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
We ain't going to replace this whole team. We ain't going to replace this whole team.
The whole point is, I'm not disagreeing with your analysis, Dan, by any stretch of the imagination. I make it 100% right that they've done the right things. The thing is, they need to finish the job. They need to finish the job. They need to go and get the strikers, the forward line, the goals, that are going to give De Zerbi what he needs. Otherwise, we're going to be in exactly the same place around January, February. He's going to lose his junk.
Okay, so I'm of the thought, and Lubo, you're not going to like this. I'm of the thought that if we don't fix that forward line, this transfer window has been a failure because, like Still alluded to, we've not fixed the biggest problem at Spurs, and the same problems we saw last season and the season before that, we're going to see again this season. No clue, toothless in attack. It's going to be shocking. I mean, I've got no doubt that players like Tonali and Fernandes, they will help out, but there's only so much they can do. If you don't have players that are going to put the ball in the back of the net, you've got a problem. So for me, I'm going to be honest, I would go as far to say if we don't fix that line, it will be a failure. I mean, you can try and make me wrong if you want, but as far as I'm concerned, goals win games, right? Goals win games, and that's it. So, but again, it's difficult because, and I'm hoping this happens, right? That in the next 2-3 weeks, we'll sit here and go, Spurs have done it right. They started from the back and they built to front, and we've got who we wanted. Brilliant. That's what I'm hoping for. But again, this conversation, I don't know if we can trust Enoch to do so. And I understand it's 2.0 and things have clearly changed, but I still have my concerns. I mean, Lubo, are you truly convinced that we're going to be okay? We've got a plan in place. We're bringing in attackers. Are you convinced we're going to get these people over the line, whoever they may be?
I think so. To let Solomon Moore and Yang go, who obviously are not good enough.
Of course not.
But are bodies, and we're short of bodies. So if you're mate, we're short already of quality, and we're short of players who are good enough. But you've got to have players there just in case of injury. You can't turn around and sell Richie and Solanke before you bring new forwards in. Because if you don't bring the new forwards, who are you going to play? Scarlett? You'll have Scarlett and Tell up front. That's it, and that's it. So you can't turn around and sell Richie and Solanke. And he may want to keep, if he brings 2 or 3 in. How many does he need for a squad with injuries, suspensions? You can't just have 2 or 3 up front. You've got to have 5 or 6. You've got to try and have 2 players for every position, even if there's a drop off. And it's going to take him several transfer windows to put that right. But you've got to have figures. You've got to have numbers there. If he sells Spence, I mean, against Everton, he played Porro and Spence on the right side in the last game of the season. You could do that at Brentford as well. But if Spence goes, you can't do that. We've got no right winger at the moment. So we're short of numbers. You know,
I had to ask, why are you talking about selling Richarlison and Solanke?
No, I'm just saying, people are saying that they're not good enough. We want them gone. But you can't sell them anyway, because number one, you've got to have better in. And number two, if they get injured, who's going to step in? So for me, you keep Richarlison and Solanke for now. You can try and go back into the window in January. Hopefully we'll have Kulusevski back by then. We'll have Simmons back by then. We'll have Odegaard back by then. Kudus hopefully will be in with this month. Hopefully Maddison's fit for Brentford as well. And he's just going to have to work through it. You know, and if we finish 8th, like Arteta did in his first season, then it's a damn sight better than 17th.
I agree on
seriously,
that.
we finished 17th 2 years running. Benji, in answer to the biggest problem was up front.
Yep.
The biggest problem was all over the pitch.
I agree. I know where you're getting at. Yeah.
Because if you kept the same team and just put 2 new strikers in and put Savinho and Gakpo in, what position are you going to get with that team from last year? 13th, 14th, maybe, because you get a few extra goals. You'll have no control in midfield with the midfield we had last season. You'll have gaps at the back. So for me, the most important area that we've put right this season has been midfield, because if you don't have players that can control a game, you're in serious trouble. You're in serious trouble.
Sorry, Lubo. I'm sorry,
all
Lubo.
The big clubs.
No, hold on. Let Lubo finish his point.
Because if you can't control a game, doesn't matter if you've got Harry Kane up there. He ain't going to get much of a chance if you're getting dominated in midfield.
You've mentioned the
agree,
right
I
player.
agree.
Sorry, Benji. Sorry, Lubo, but you're wrong.
Have at it, mate. Go on.
For a couple of years, for a good number of years, post-Poch, we had exactly this problem. And we were bailed out again and again and again because we had two players who could put the ball in the back of the net. And that was Harry Kane and Heung-min Son.
But you're not going to get two players as good as them.
That's a completely different
Excuses.
argument.
That's
a
excuses.
complete
But
different
they're not
argument.
out there to
That's
get
not
right.
an argument.
But that
It's a
wasn't
complete
your
different argument to what
No,
you're
they're
saying.
not out there to get.
What you're
Whoever
saying,
you get.
I'm sorry, Lubo. I'm sorry,
It's all-
Lubo.
it's
What
all
your
one
argument was? Sorry, Lubo. Your argument was it doesn't matter if you have these players up top. You need it. Actually, we were bailed out regularly because we had Harry Kane and Heung-min
Kane and
Son.
Son did
That was
bail us out.
exactly
But you haven't got.
That was exactly
they're
what
not there.
happened.
Jose
Now-
Mourinho bypassed Ndombele, Skip, Winks in the midfield, and just sent it long to Kane and Son, and that's how. And that was it. Sit back, get it to those two, and they were killers. So yeah, we don't have them now. But to say if you sign strikers, nothing changes because there isn't a midfield, that's wrong because Mourinho he got around that. But that's why we need to sign those two top forwards. So there is that option, but we're not.
The point I'm
Well, we
making,
might.
still, the point I'm making is the most important part of the rebuild this summer has been midfield. Because if you don't control the game, then how are you going to give service to your
Mourinho
strikers?
didn't control games. He had 30% possession.
But we haven't got Kane and Son anymore.
That's not your argument.
It is my argument.
Your
who do you
argument
buy?
is no,
If
Lubo.
you- if-
Lubo, it's
No,
not your
sorry.
argument.
If you start right, let me start again. If you go and buy two forwards this summer,
Yeah.
or you don't buy a midfield and
Yeah.
control the game,
You don't need to control
those
the
two
game. Mourinho proved
strikers,
that.
those two strikers are not going to get you out the shit like Kane and Son did.
How do you know? If you sign two top strikers, how do you know?
I love the way you're so certain about how the window is going to end, but you're also so certain that two strikers are not going to get goals. I love the certainty. I love it.
Not
love
without,
the
not
certainty
without
that
control. Not without a decent midfield that control. Look how
Conte
important
didn't have control. Conte didn't have control, but you had Kane and Son.
he had control. Bentancur was excellent. You had Kulu on the right. You had
For 4
Bentancur in
months. For
midfield.
4 months.
And look at the difference in form still.
Lubo.
Look how many
Lubo.
points we had when Bentancur and Kulusevski
Lubo,
came in.
you
And
need
look how many
control of the
points we had
game.
at the end of the season.
You need control
No, they
of the
rescued
game.
that season.
You've
I'll
got to
give you
have
that.
control of the. You've got to have control of,
You
of the
only
game.
need control of the midfield if you want to play possession-based football.
Oh, okay.
Otherwise,
sorry, mate. So I'm gobsmacked. You're
sorry, I've
coming
only
out with
coached for
that.
12 years. Fuck
Sorry,
it.
it doesn't
Fuck it,
matter
what
if
do I
you're
know?
a coach. We've all watched
It does
football.
because I know what I'm talking about when it
No,
comes
you
to
cannot-
how you structure a team
Sorry.
to win games. You do
Sorry,
not
to any
need
of
to
the
control
top
a
teams,
midfield.
to any
Unless
of
you
the
play
top teams
possession-based
that
James,
win,
one at a time, one at a time.
to any of the top teams that win the league have midfields that are shit that don't control games. Come on.
They also have people who can put
They
the ball
don't
in the
have
back of the
teams.
net. They also they're
Lubo.
both. They're both, Lubo. They're both. That's the problem. They're
Lubo,
both.
Define controlling a midfield. Define what you mean by that.
You've got to have players who can put their foot on the ball and ping it around, keep control of the ball, control the pace, the tempo of the game. If they want to speed it up, they speed it up. If they want to slow it down, they slow it down. They've got good technical ability. They're comfortable on the ball. We haven't had that for how long? When?
Yeah.
When have we had that?
We had none of that. We had none of that under
Correct.
Mourinho. And we got to a cup final and we were 6 or 7. We had none of that.
Dembele, we need a Dembele type player.
Dembele wasn't there in Mourinho. We didn't have
No.
that.
I'm just saying Dembele controlled games. Modric controlled games.
Okay. Mourinho didn't control games.
He
did
didn't
okay.
control games. And
we did okay.
and that team was nowhere near as good as Poch's team.
That's not the argument.
The
not
argument
the
is you've
argument.
got to have. Well, it is the argument because you've got to
You
have players
only
who
need
control
control of
games.
the midfield if you want possession-based football. Otherwise, you can forego control, knowing that you can defend the opposition that come onto you if you've got a good defensive block.
We
If you
couldn't,
want to
we
control
couldn't
the
defend
midfield-
either. We couldn't defend last season either.
But that's another layer, though. I'm just talking about control. The main reason you want to control a midfield is if you want to control possession of the ball. That's why people want to control midfields, because they want to dictate the play in possession. Otherwise, you give up control, invite the pressure on, and we'll hit you on the transition, which is what Conte did. He foregoed control of the midfield, knowing on the transition we were very, very good.
Would you rather have Guardiola? Would you rather have Guardiola or Conte managing your team?
Different argument now.
Different styles still. Who would you rather have?
But that's not your argument. You're moving the argument.
No, I'd rather have players who control the midfield than not.
Again, that's a different conversation. I
thought we only cared about winning games, Lubo.
Well, you don't win many games. You don't win as many as you should do if you don't control games. Rain. Look at the last 2 seasons.
I'll tell you what, you won't win any if you can't put the ball in the back of the net.
No, and you won't get the ball up. You won't get up.
Do you know what sucks? Both of you are right.
If the other team's got the ball all the time, your strikers ain't going to score either.
Listen,
I'm not insulting, by the way. I think we need to have done everything. I don't buy this. And I don't buy this. You can't do everything in one window. I don't buy it. I don't agree. I think their plan was to do everything in one window, and I think through no fault of their own, out of their control, they've been stalled by the fact they can't sell players. Because I think they would have tried to have got some of these attacking players over the line, or pivoted. The risk for us is the later we leave it in the window, the less opportunities there are to actually get those attackers.
Or maybe we should look outside the Premier League.
Well, that too. Well, they don't seem to be doing that.
Guys, my concern is I do not see Spurs winning 1-0, 1-0, 1-0, 1-0. I saw us draw 1-1 with Getafe. I saw us draw 1-1 with Sydney FC. I saw us not keep hold of a
friendly. Who cares about friendlies? Friendlies are irrelevant.
Right,
and when we play better teams, it's going to be even harder, right? So for me, if we do not bring in some goal scorers, I think we're in for a very tough season. I really do. I just don't see how we're going to get the goals. Yeah, maybe the midfield pop up with the odd one here and there. I don't doubt it. But there's going to be key games where we need somebody that can put the ball in the back of the net consistently. We don't have it. Unless De Zerbi can unlock either Solanke, Richie and Tell and get 15, 20 goals out of them.
I agree with what you're saying there. We definitely need that goal scorer. With what Rain said as well, I do believe you can get, if you want to get it done, you can get the play, you can sort it out, most of it, in one window. Other teams have gone and done it before. But the difference is we're not looking at doing it with the standard of players that say Sunderland did it with and others did it with. We're actually trying to go 2-tier levels above. So that makes it a lot harder to sort it out in that one window, basically. But I do believe you can make a significant difference in that window. And I think we have already made a significant difference. Is it going to win us games and get us into the top 5 or whatever? No, it's not.
No.
But is it going to make us do significantly better than last season? Yes, it is. I totally agree. We definitely need that striker and at least one winger that can bang it in the back of the net, 110%. But with what we've got at the moment, I can say so far so good, because I think we have had a good window with who we have bought. It's just we desperately need that strike force if we want to start looking at 7th or above, basically. But again, if we don't get it and we end up in 8th or 9th, what has anyone really got to complain about? Right. We finished 17th for 2 years on the bloody trot.
What if we finish 11th or 12th?
11th or 12th is still, I wouldn't like that, but it's still an improvement. With the team we've got now, I would expect an 8th, True. 8th or 9th.
So if we finish 16th or above, it's okay because it's improvement from 17th then.
If you want to be like that, then yeah.
No, I'm asking because I don't think that's acceptable.
You know exactly what I'm getting at still. You know,
no, I don't. So I'm asking what is the lowest acceptable number for you then?
For me, my lowest would be, I'm going to go with top 10, basically. With this team now, I would look at an 8th. But I know some people think 12th, some people think 9th. As long as we finish 10th or above, I think we've made a significant improvement. We missed out on relegation by literally 2 points.
So if we finish 11th or 12th,
go and get a striker and a winger, with the team we've got, I would say that's a bit of a letdown, yes.
Okay, fair enough.
I wouldn't say it's a total failure because we nearly got relegated twice. Well, this one definitely, but with the team we've got, I would expect an 8th, latest a 9th base, basically.
I
and it is a
think-
massive improvement.
I think
Sorry,
in a
Benji, can I answer this idiot here, this ghost? Ghost,
I did not mean
you're
to
an
leave that on
idiot.
the
Kane
screen.
isn't at the club anymore. We don't have Harry Kane to get us out the shits. Listen to what I say. Unbelievable.
Saying, though. It's not what you're saying.
Unbelievable. Kane won us many we couldn't dominate. We don't have Kane anymore. We haven't
what
got a
you're
Kane. We haven't got a Kane now to get us out of games that we wouldn't have dominated without a decent midfield.
He's a good guy, by the way.
Sorry, I can't make it any clearer.
Lube, I apologise. I
Someone's
didn't mean to
coming
leave
on
that on the screen.
I'm not having someone talk about lying. That's bullshit. Sorry.
The point he made was right. We didn't dominate games, and Kane won us games. That's the point he made. He's correct in what he said. His point wasn't wrong. The bit about Lubo lies, that's a bit harsh, but the point itself.
Yeah. Maybe rein that in a little bit, Ghost. Look, Ghost, to be fair, I've seen you in so many streams. You're usually great. Maybe rein that in a little bit. You know, Lubo's one of my guests, and I appreciate the fact that he's here.
In a season where 9 teams are in Europe playing midweek weekend cup games as well, in a season where there's a lot of managerial change, and in a season where a lot of teams are struggling to spend, this is a massive opportunity for Tottenham to really go for top 6. It's there for the taking, and for me, if we don't take that opportunity because we don't bring in these attackers, then ENIC have let everyone down yet again. And another manager has been thrown under a bus. So I don't care about this. We should finish 8th or 9th. I look at what opportunity presents itself. There's a massive opportunity this year. Just like Man United went from 16th to 3rd, they seized the opportunity. The same opportunity lies there for us to at least get top 6. If we don't take it, ENIC have done it again, in my opinion.
What do you mean, ENIC? What have they done, Stel? What should they have done?
Are you kidding me?
That they haven't done?
Are you kidding me?
No, I'm not kidding you.
What haven't they done is sign attackers when we're desperately screaming out to fix the worst part of this team.
Whose job is it? Whose job is it to find the strikers, approach the agents, get the deals done? Whose job?
Who hired those people? Who hired them to do that job?
Well, De Zerbi's running the recruitment team, so what are you going to do? Sack De Zerbi then?
De Zerbi is not out there scouting the players, negotiating and signing the players. Don't make that up.
De Zerbi, Lang and McKenzie are bringing the players to De Zerbi.
Correct. Who hired them?
And he's telling them.
Who hired them?
Answer the question. I heard he was very happy with them a few weeks ago.
Who hired
happy.
them? Who hired them?
Who hired Lang and McKenzie? I don't know about McKenzie. I don't know how long he's been there for. Lang was man and one was Lee.
Who employed them? ENIC. ENIC employed them. ENIC. Who employed Levy? Who employed Levy?
Oh, do me a favour. Levy was a partner. He wasn't employed still.
It's not ENIC's
fault. He was a partner.
No, you're right. It's got nothing to do with ENIC. Nothing to do with ENIC. It's nothing to do with them. You're right. I agree.
He was technically employed. He drew a contract. Just saying. He drew a salary. Just.
He did, but you know what I'm saying, Rain.
The one thing I would say still is that I understand where you're coming from, but the season's unpredictable, right? We can't say for definite. We have got an opportunity. You're correct, but we don't know what's going to happen. There's variables that we can't control, right? So we don't know whether there will be injuries. We don't know what's going to happen. To say that we definitely have to get sick, I understand where you're coming from with there's an opportunity, but that opportunity only will happen if everything goes right for us, right? If everything kind of goes our way. But if we get more injuries, if other things happen during the season, they're the things that we can't control. So for me, I would say between 9th and 7th this season, because I think that's probably a realistic with what we've currently got. I feel like that's probably reasonable.
That's not the point I made. I'm not saying we should get top 6. The point I'm making is there's an opportunity there. Yes. If we seize the opportunity, we can definitely go for it. And you're right. Yeah. There's no guarantees, injuries, suspensions, but at least give the manager what he needs to give it a real crack. The way Man United gave Carrick a real crack at it, and the manager before him by signing those attackers.
You have to give them their best chance, 100%. I don't think anyone again disagrees with that. I think that we do need to give him his best chance to have that opportunity. And if we don't, And if we don't give him those, I think that we've still got an opportunity to do fairly well. But I don't think we're going to be up there 6th. I don't think.
No, I agree. I think we're 9th or 10th at the moment, and if we get a couple of strikers, a couple of forwards in, and if the other boys come back from injury and do well, then 6th place is definitely a possibility.
I think it's more than 2. If I'm brutally honest, if you look at where we currently are, we've got 1 fit left wing. Well, we've got 1 left wing, full stop.
Mm-hmm.
We've got 2 strikers who only play half a season each, so they're basically 1 striker, right? We've got 1 right winger who's basically not going to be fit for the majority of the season. You almost need to discount him. We've got 1 right winger who we're hoping is going to come back after a 6 or 7 month layoff. We've got a number 10 in Xavi, who again is not going to be back basically this season. Is going to do a Madders. He'll come back and play.
January. He'll be back in January.
He won't. Come on. Look at what's happened the last 2 or 3 years at our players, and look at the way that they're handling players coming back from injury. He won't be back in January. He will, at best, he'll be available in January, and they'll phase him back in over January, February.
That is more believable in it, especially with a snapped ACL. You ain't coming back landing on your feet.
They'll phase him back in. Look at the way De Zerbi's treating his players. We've got Madders, who, unfortunately, no matter what he said in that video, he is now in the position where he is clearly going to get niggles. He has had that many injuries that he's just going to get niggle after niggle. It's just the way it is. He's almost 30 as well. Yeah, it's just life. And unfortunately, with Kulu, whatever Kulu we get back, if he doesn't have a relapse or another niggle on top, then he's an extraordinary person, because that's what normally happens. So we're ending up right with 1 reliable left winger in Tel, 2 halves of a striker, so that's 1 full striker. Hopefully they're not injured at the same time up front, and let's be generous and say that Kudus is going to come back and be 100%. If we just get 2 more bodies, right, that's not enough. We're gonna wear these people out, and we're gonna end up bare bones again. We're in. I don't think people really understand how bad the squad situation actually is.
Can I just caveat what you said there, actually, Rain? So, in regards to Maddison, right now, if pre-season is anything to go by, De Zerbi wants his cam to press, right? That's what we've seen thus far. Maddison won't last a week under that system, no way. So, for me, again, I mean, look, you could play a flat midfield. We've got the midfielders to do it. It's not a problem. But guys, are we now at a point where we need a cam as well? Are we looking at 2 wingers, a cam, a striker? Mm-hmm. I don't see us bringing those sorts of players in. Like,
what we need, I said this from end of last season. We need a number 10, because Maddison is not reliable. He has played half the games for us that he actually could have. Good player on his day, but he's another player. If we really want to go back to when Maddison started for us, him and Basuma were the best 2 in midfield at one point, Not the 2 best players, obviously, but they were playing as a pair as the best for the first 10 games. And then Basuma fell off a cliff, and so did Maddison. Maddison, for me, is a very purple patch player, but not game by game, but more patches of the season sort of thing. He'll play for 2 months where you proper see him there, and then all of a sudden, for 2 months, he'll all of a sudden go pretty much missing. Also,
do you not think Maverick players are like that, though, Dan?
No, not Maverick. Okay. No, I get what you mean, Maverick players. You're saying basically a playmaker. Yeah, I get your point now. Yeah, I can see where you're coming from. But, I mean, Ericsson, he could go disappearing for 80 minutes in a game, then all of a sudden he'd get the ball, he knew what he wanted to do with it, bang, and do his job.
Yeah,
true.
Madison, for me, why I wouldn't want him as captain either, is one who gets slapped about too much and then walks about like a little bitch. Now, I think he's a quality player. He's one of those very few number 10s left that actually plays like a playmaker, where he actually knows what he wants to do with the ball before he gets it. But we also need him fit, and he's also got to that age now where when you break something, you can only break it so many times and glue it back together so many times, and then you get to a certain point where it's just fucked. I think
For sure.
Kulusevski is pretty much fucked, if I'm going to be honest. If he comes back, he's something special. I agree with what Rain said there. He has had 2 major injuries where they haven't even been able to run them concurrent in fixing them. They've had to do them one by one, basically, because they're 9-month injuries, because they could only focus on one injury at the time. I mean, his fucking kneecap was dislocated and snapped in half or whatever from his bloody knee.
Yeah.
Not many. I mean, that happened to R9, and the only reason it didn't end R9's career in that aspect is because R9 was an absolute, probably one of the best strikers there's ever been in football. But even then, it totally destroyed what his career could have gone forward to be, basically. And Kulusevski ain't that. And Maddison, he's too easy to break for me. And if you go and put him as a captain, I think that's fucking crazy, because I think he was just as poor as Son as a vice captain. Because as soon as it started going moody, he starts walking about with his knuckles on the floor. And you don't need that as a captain. We got better options for that. I think we need a 10 as much as we need a striker and as much as we need a left winger. What I would want Spurs to go and do here and now, with money I know we've got, with money we can also get in to cover some other payments, basically, I would go over to Nottingham Forest and say, do you know what? There's 80, 90 million and Bergville. Let's see what you got to say. Now, some would say that's well over the top.
80, 90 and Bergville.
Yes.
Are you fucking kidding me?
No, Bergville is absolute crap. Yeah. As all he's ever done is run forward with the ball. He can't cross. He can't pass. He can't head the ball. He can't fucking shoot. He can't even do a 2-yard pass when he gets up there. He loses the ball every 5 minutes. Do you know what? He's a midfielder version of Richarlison, basically. He runs about like a headless chicken and looks okay for it. Bergville is not even worth 30 million, in my opinion. But
listen, I don't disagree with your summation.
Morgan
on it,
Gibbs-White, let me finish this bit. Morgan Gibbs-White is the sort of player you want there. Is he as good a playmaker as Maddison? No. But is he a playmaking player? Yes. Can he carry the ball and score? Yes. Can he hold the ball? Yes. Can he also come back if he needs to into midfield? Yes. He's much, much better, more complete player than Maddison. Now, if you want someone who can pass the ball, Maddison at what he can do is one of the best in the league. But Morgan Gibbs-White is a much, much better all-round player. And he's also homegrown. And then the other thing that comes with him as well, we're in the Premier League, so there's the 20% on top. Everyone knows we're desperate for players. There's another 10, 15% on top. If you want what you want, you've got to pay the money. Tonali was not a £100 million player. And you know I rate him as much as you do, yeah? But we're going to have to pay it. Morgan Gibbs-White, for me, we could do with him that much. Do you know what? I'd even be willing to put a bloody 100 million on the table and give him Bergville, because then they'd have to really fight to say no, basically. That is how much I think we need a 10.
No, I hear you. I don't disagree with your summation on Bergville, right? The guy is useless, at least in my eyes. Listen, I used to like him, but the guy regressed this season, just gone. He's been poor. But he's essentially worth 45 million plus. That's what we've turned down for the guy. So you don't want to throw 150 million at someone like bloody Morgan Gibbs-White.
With a player that I'm not going to play, with a player who isn't going to get to see much game time unless it's a Carabao Cup or an early FA Cup, or unless there's been major injuries, why wouldn't I want to get rid of him? For me, he's that little bit of icing on the cake that can turn the head, because we all know Nottingham Forest have got the money there, but they can't go and spend the money they want, because they're in exactly the same sort of position as Villa, exactly the same as Newcastle, except they bring in even less money because they've got, for where they are. So if they want to improve their team and we want our player, stuff it. Pay what you got to pay, and then also go and put that little bit of icing on the cake that'll make them turn their head. Crazy money, don't get me wrong, but we desperately need that, in my opinion, as much as we need a striker and a winger. So do you know what? If I've got to give them a player that, let's say he's worth 45 mil, yeah? Or 50 mil.
Yeah.
Okay. But he's not going to fucking play for us anyway, so who gives a shit? We're giving them to them. Yes, it's going to be a lot of money, but we'll make some of that money back with selling Romero, selling Spence, selling Udogie, hopefully Sarr. And in that aspect, we've got ourselves a quality player who plays significant games in a season, isn't injury prone. For me, he's a player that is going to get better as his career goes on. I don't think he's definitely at his peak, not at all. And would 100% improve us up front as well with what he can do on his own. So pay that money that you got to pay, and then give him a little icing on the cake with it. And then that also basically helps us on the last bit of we're also getting rid of a player as well. That's how I see it.
No, I
Gibbs
hear you.
White. Gibbs White would be the boy to get. You know, if you look around at what's out there, for me, I'd rather have Gibbs White than Savinho or Gakpo, to be honest with you, because I think he'd be superb, and you wouldn't need three across the front. You could play Gibbs White in a double 10, or sort of play him just off the centre forward. Be superb. The way that Ali played off Kane.
Yeah.
So the only thing is, do you know what, guys? The only thing I'll say is this: with Morgan Gibbs White, I will not argue against the fact that he's a better, well-rounded player than Maddison. But I don't think Morgan Gibbs White gives you what Maddison gives you. Maddison has an innate ability to do something no one else in our squad does. He knows what he's doing with that ball before it comes to him. I don't think Morgan Gibbs White has got that same trait. I'm going to be honest.
No, I agree. Not to the same extent.
Yeah.
But he'll at least play more than 3/4 of your games. Maddison, we don't even know if you see 10 games off him. So again,
Dan, in his first, I'll give you some stats. In Maddison's, he only played 2 games last season, 2 appearances, should I say. In the previous 2 seasons, after he joined the club, Spurs played 101 matches. He appeared in 75 of them.
Yep, 77.
He's 77 in total.
Jesus.
Two last year, 75 the previous 2 years out of 101.
He's missed 70 games for us.
Sorry?
He's missed 70 games for us.
No, but he missed 26 in his first 2 seasons.
Discount the whole of last season.
No. You can't discount the whole of last. But I'm just saying that he picked up a really bad injury that's kept him out for 9 months, didn't it? He did it in August, and he came back in May.
So keep him as
9
squad.
months.
But would you want to rely on Maddison as a manager? I wouldn't, because it's dangerous. Because it's another injury waiting to happen, in my opinion. Because he is brittle. I mean, let's be real. He has got legs like fucking Weetabix, and that's being nice.
But that's not been confirmed, though, has it?
It was like that even before he. It was like that even before he joined.
What was it they used to call him at Leicester? 2/3 Maddison or something, wasn't it?
1/3.
1/3. That's it.
Well, he used to miss a third of the seasons, roughly.
Yeah, we don't
third
want
of the
that.
season. Yeah,
we've got that problem enough.
Third of the
so
season
go and get
injured.
Morgan Gibbs White.
Listen, we got it with Solanke, we got it with Udogie, but he'll sort the squad out, I'm sure. But he can't do it in one. He can't do it in one window, can he?
I get that. So if we can't get the striker, which I don't think we will, striker is the hardest one to get. And are we good? I think we're going to end up with Solanke and Richarlison up front. Yep, I feel physically sick, but it is what it is. So do you know what? Go and get that number 10 then, who can at least score you 10 goals in a season.
Well, actually, Dan, you bring that to a good...
Dan.
No, boys, you actually bring that to a good point, something I wanted to get on. So, look, we've been linked with a few new players. One of them being Endrick, another Balogun, and more recently today, an actual link to Marmoush. Now, out of curiosity, guys, what's your feelings and thoughts on a player like Endrick? For me, he's a talented boy, but I think he might be too much of a risk. Have any of you got an opinion on Endrick?
No.
Great. Okay, moving on.
Untested promise.
Yeah.
I mean, he's got talent, right? But he's that sort of guy you want to bring to Spurs right now. And it's a genuine link as well. This isn't like hearsay. So,
Benji, I'm in a money. I think what we should be in is a money ball summer window. We finished 17th twice. We desperately need. We should be looking at money ball, right? What do we need? What do we need? We need goals, right? We needed players in the central midfield who could control the ball, who are going to have good on the ball stats. But we also need players up front who can actually put the ball in the back of the net, right? So that's why when I've had debates about Savinho, I'm not going to debate people about whether he's a good player. What I'm going to debate people about is he going to score 10 goals? And I don't think he is. You know, he hasn't shown that he's going to score 10 goals. So I would prefer us to go and get a left-sided player who's going to get you, who's got far more chance of getting you 10 to 15 goals. And I want us to get a striker who's going to score us 20 goals.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. We should be past.
Give us a couple of names,
if,
Ray.
buts or maybes.
I don't know why we haven't tried to drop everything on Osimhen. I don't know why we haven't. I don't know why we haven't tried to do a Danny on Osimhen and just gone. Here's 120 mil. Boom. There we go. Yildiz.
I agree.
People keep on saying to me that he'll never leave that club. He loves that club. They won't sell him. I'm sorry.
They will.
Again, if you go and drop
would.
110 mil, they will snap it up. They will snap it up. They will tell him, for the good of this club, you know, I'm afraid you're going to need to leave.
Rain, I don't think that's the problem, mate. I don't. I think it's the wages. I think it's the wages with him and what he's going to want to demand coming to the Premier League.
Then you give him a. Then you do what I think does happen with a. I don't think that as many players get the wages that they want as people think. It's an opinion, yeah. I reckon a lot of it is right. We all know that you get a 50% fine when you work in England for good money, basically, yeah, the tax.
Sure.
But that's where you go and give them a significant signing on fee, then, which basically covers it.
No, look, you make a fair point.
That's how I would have thought.
No, I'm with you. Look, listen, again, the same like Rain said, at this point in time, we need to start signing real quality because I, for one, as a Spurs fan, I'm sick of this buying youth, the if, buts, the maybes player. It's not worked. It's not worked. Whether you like to admit it or not, it's not worked. Look where we've ended up. When you rely on kids, when you rely on if, buts, and maybe players, this is what happens. And it shouldn't be done. So I agree. We should be looking at someone of the quality of an Osimhen, a Ferran Torres. I mean, for me personally, when I look at Ferran Torres, I think that deal stinks of a Spurs sort of. That guy, for me, if we couldn't get Osimhen, I'd go and get a Ferran Torres. The guy is...
He's going to PSG, Benji.
I know. For 50 million. 50 million.
He's going to PSG.
Who's the other one you keep talking about?
Pavlidis, the Greek guy from Benfica. Phenomenal.
Yeah, I don't know much about him, but a lot of people have said he's good. I don't know nothing about him, but a lot of people have said he's good. He's one you talk of all the time, and Stell's mentioned him before as well. There is options out there. It's just then maybe we've got to shop outside the Premier League. But then you get a lot of people saying we want having a player that's Premier League proven is significantly better because he's proved he can do it in the league, which I understand that as well. I think everyone's had enough of ifs, buts, and maybe players and hopes and deserves chances and that. But then they'll always go and justify one as well.
No, I agree. Right, listen, guys, I'm going to be very, very honest. This, the amount of support I've had on this show so far is unbelievable. There's been 200 of you watching for a very long time. Guys, I am blown away. Thank you so much. Listen, I'm going to be cheeky. I'm going to ask it. If you could drop a like and a sub, that'd be amazing. If you don't want to, fair enough, that's fine. But we are going to wrap there. Dan, where are we going to see you next, my man? What's going on with you?
Just been a bit busy, got things going on. It's just easier for me to jump on the show than do my own at the moment again.
Sure.
So I just do shows when it comes to it. Spur of the moment more than anything, and that's how it will pretty much be.
Okay. Mia, where can we find you? No, you are more than welcome, mate. Thank you for coming on. Mia, where can we find you? Okay, fantastic. That's great.
I've moved myself because I like to be
You did a me.
I'll be over at Tottenham Home Wharf at 11 o'clock every morning, Monday to Friday. So that's where you can find me.
Yes, guys, she's pumping out some great content. Please go and check her out. Mr. Stelios, my friend, you good there? Where can we see you next, my man?
I'll have a show at some point this week. What day is today? Tuesday, maybe Thursday or Friday. I'll have something.
Joe Stell was so Greek. He's like, yeah, I'll be here in a couple of days, maybe 4 days, maybe 5 days. You know what I mean?
When you're lucky
I live in
enough
Cyprus.
To see me.
That's how it works over here. Whenever.
I know, innit? I know about that. Yeah, no, I get it.
Lubo, where can we find you next, my man?
Tomorrow night, Tottenham Touchline, 8 p.m. Our usual Wednesday night spot.
Wonderful. I'll be tuning in myself. What about you, Rain? What are you doing these days? You got anything coming up?
No, I just float around. I float around. I've got a few regular slots, but you'll see me pop up here every now and again when you least expect me.
Like a YouTube ninja. Gotcha. Listen, these guys have taken time out of their day to come and spend time with myself and entertain you guys. If you could please go and find their channel, show them some love, it'd mean the world to me, and I'm sure to them as well. As I said, thank you so much for the support tonight. I'm absolutely blown away, and I hope to do this again sometime. Take care of yourself, guys. See you soon.